97.3 The Fan.
Welcome in on this Friday afternoon here with Gwynn and Chris, or at least half of the show. Gwynn and Skraby, of course, here for this show headed into the weekend. Tony Gwynn Jr. match Skraby, and not a ton of news today.
Well, at least we got some pretty hefty news here in the last 30 minutes.
We got some late stuff that kind of gets us over the edge there. A terrific semifinal game last night between Ole Miss and Miami. My partner and friend Jesse Agler in the building representing his squad as a bunch of University of Miami folks that I know was out and about. They got a nice victory.
Yes.
I wonder if he'll head back to Miami for the national championship the game is going to be held.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Nonetheless,
that's a tough one.
Great game last night. I really enjoyed that. We'll have Jesse Agler on in the 3 o'clock hour to talk a little bit about it. Rob Manfred had some interesting things to say. What was it, WFAN?
It was on the new Craig Carton show.
Yeah.
That's back on WFAN. And yes, I played a little bit of it last night, and I was like, Tony has to hear this and comment on it, because part of what he says I agree with. Part of what he says, I'm like, what world do you live in?
Yeah. By the way, we are broadcasting from live from the lovely Bill Howe Studios. We know how. A lot of things to kind of break down there on that Rob Manfred thing or the interview that he had the last night.
It was like Craig Carton got him to reveal everything that everybody's wanted to know for like the last 3 months.
Somebody said something about something.
Yes.
Finally. It's just not a lot of talking around.
There's some substance to it.
Some substance, exactly. We also got a little bit of a look at the national baseball schedule. Padres will be on Sunday Night Baseball 4 times. I had to be reminded today that we are not talking Sunday night ESPN baseball. No.
Correct.
That is no longer.
Yeah.
It is now a NBC. The NBC, they're trying to bring in everything right now. They got the basketball this year for the first time.
Football,
they got football, obviously, and
the Olympics.
Now they're bringing in baseball. The Olympics will also is always usually on NBC.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, this is we'll see how this goes. What will be different? ESPN Sunday Night Baseball, I think, over time had kind of lost its magic. Is that an ESPN thing, or is that a consumer thing in how we watch baseball? Sunday Night Baseball used to be a
staple,
all eyes on it event on Sunday.
I have to think it's announcers. I
do. You think it's announcers?
I'm not saying that they're bad. I'm saying that John Miller and Joe Morgan were that good that we just like. I remember the Sunday Night Baseball theme song from as a kid. I grew up in a household that didn't watch baseball, but Sunday Night Baseball was on in my house.
I don't deny it. It definitely was. As I slide down.
Yeah, can I ask you? Like, I look at Tony when the show starts, and he's like 8 feet in the air on this chair.
I just wanted to see how long I could do it.
Okay, you're back to
normal spot.
Thank you. You could see Tony on the 8-foot chair if you go to the YouTube, search 97.3 The Fan or Gwynn and Chris SD. Also, you can listen to us on the Odyssey app by typing in Gwynn and Chris.
So yeah, you have that whole situation. What was it that broke right before we came on?
The Chucky Lozano story.
Ah, yes, SDFC, Chucky Lozano, and SDFC look like they'll be parting ways. I don't know that it's a crazy surprise because of how things kind of ended. And although when I say ended, I should be a little bit more specific. Chucky got into a little bit of a spat. We don't know with who, but he was very upset. He was suspended for 2 games? Or was it 1 game? It might have been 2. Well, he didn't suit up. I know. I'm pretty sure for 2 games, but he came back in the playoff game. The SDFC makes the run that they ended up making, but Tyler Heaps, who is the sporting director for SDFC, You have sound on this?
I do. It's slightly hard to hear, but I want to hear it from him.
Okay.
We have communicated with Irving and his representatives that he will not be part of the sporting plans moving forward. That was not a decision that was taken lightly. That was something that was well talked through from owners down to leadership, down to myself and Mikey, and has been communicated with the rest of the group. So we're working with him and his representatives to find the best solution and the best environment for him moving forward.
So it sounds pretty cut and dry. Sounds like it's over. We're moving on.
Yeah, Tyler Heaps did not. He was all business. Sounded like there.
Yeah.
And what I gather is that Mikey Veras is all business too.
Yes.
And so there seems, I don't know this fact, but there seems to be a specific culture that he has built, and you wonder if Chuky's actions may have fractured that part for it. But either way, they came to the decision that it wasn't a fit, and it sounded like it had a lot to do with style of play too. I'm not a soccer
guru, more than me,
and so I don't know exactly why those pieces don't fit. But Tyler Heaps, the sporting director, certainly, along with the ownership and everybody involved, felt like it was time to go in a different direction. So we'll see how they spend, because this is going to be either a sale or a loan. They said that they would prefer a sale. So
they just want to cut ties.
We'll see where this ends up.
If you're on the chat, because I know we have a lot of SDFC fans on the chat, just let us know. Is this a big deal? Big deal, little deal, no deal? Just let us know, and we'll bring you what you say as we go along.
It's being reported right now that the Diamondbacks are pulling Ketel Marte off the trade block.
I thought he already signed.
Yeah, he is already signed, but they were talking about trading him.
Okay.
That was kind of the rumor that he was on the block, but it sounds like they are going to pull him off, and now they will look at bringing in Alex Bregman. They are at void of the third baseman after Eugenio Suarez moved on, or they traded him. Certainly don't want to see that. I'll be quite frank.
No,
I would hate to see Alex Bregman in that stadium. It's almost like Houston without the small porch in lane.
Yeah. I do not.
No.
The Diamondbacks they've spent some money recently. Corbin Burns last year. Now I don't even know if he probably won't pitch this year because of the Tommy John issue that he had last year. Jordan Montgomery, he's not even on the team anymore, or is he? I have no idea because they hate each other.
I think they moved on from him.
Yeah, they re-signed Merrill Kelly. Zach Gallen's still out there, so they could bring him back, but maybe they are saving for Alex Bregman, which is not something I want to see.
Yeah,
at all.
Report: Yankees offer Cody Bellinger more than. Did I say 30 or 20? Dang,
30.
30 million.
Yeah, 30. It did say 30.
Has not, so we don't know if, where that leaves them.
Now, we talked about this last night or the night before on the Skraby show, and Cody Bellinger, to me, would fit here, but I just think he's way too expensive. He's a brand
million. But look, it says right here, Yankees offer Cody Bellinger more than 30 million.
But gap
remains. So he wants more.
That's okay. I mean,
Scotty B doing his thing.
He had a good season last year for the most part. I don't think he's worth $30 million a year or more.
I guess you're worth what
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that.
Worth what someone will pay you, huh?
Yeah. In serious news, though, the Padres announced today, they tweeted out that they are going to honor former Padres Cy Young Award winner Randy Jones with the Celebration of Life ceremony at Petco Park on Saturday, January 24th at 11 a.m. Pacific. Admission is free, but you have to claim tickets in advance, so you have your spot. So you can go to Padres.com and find that. But they are going to be planning on doing a memorial for Randy Jones on January 24th at 11 a.m. And that's sad.
Yeah, no. We're gonna miss Randy for sure. That's one of those things you're not looking forward to.
No,
at all. I know I'm not. I mean, I know it'll be a celebration of life, but it still doesn't replace that kind of void that you have not having him around.
I was thinking about him on the break on the drive up because strangely, Randy and I kind of got close there for a second. And his daughter or granddaughter also went to the school that my mom teaches at. So there was several tentacles, and Randy he always gave me a laugh even when it wasn't funny.
Yeah.
And
I think everybody feels the same way.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to break. We'll get into some more of this Padres schedule that has popped up in terms of Sunday Night Baseball. That's on Peacock. Remember, we'll still have our biggest fan at 5:30, around 5:30. So make sure you stay locked in. So yeah, more Padre baseball on the other end.
He just looked at me.
More Gwynn and Chris. Jr. Matt Skraby, former Padre Ryan O'Hearn on MLB Network right now. Got his Green Bay stuff in the background.
Is he from Wisconsin?
I don't know.
Well, we're going to hear from Ryan O'Hearn a little bit later on the show in the Big Five.
Yes, we are. Skraby, during our warm up to the show,
yes,
they had some. Was Fall Out Boy? Is that who it is?
Yeah. Well, here's something that people probably don't know. In a radio station, one day of the week, a radio station's on. The next day of the week, a different radio station's on. So sometimes we hear ourselves, but most of the time I hear either Kixie or I hear 94.9, which 94.9 was today, and it was Fall Out Boy.
Fall Out Boy. That I feel like that song came from like my high school era.
We're going down. Shooba dooba doo.
That's what I was saying earlier.
I have no idea.
I don't know the words, but I recognize the song.
It's the music video where, for some reason, the guy in the video has antlers on. He has antlers literally growing out of his head. I
can't recall that one.
Yeah, I don't get it. But anyway, yes, that was on in the hallway.
It started an interesting conversation between Skraby and I. He volunteered the information that this was kind of like that was kind of like your jam.
I'm proud of these moments in my life. I'm proud of going through as many different phases as I've gone through in my life.
Tell me the phase that you asked me about. It said, "Would it surprise you if?"
Would it surprise you if you, or would it surprise you to know that I painted my nails black
and I told
for a period of time? No, you said no. I was totally like My Chemical Romance, Fall Out Boy, bands like that. Painted my nails black, got my ears stretched.
You had your earlobes were
and I got that studded belt. I was all in.
So I feel like having kids of my own now. They refer to that genre as emo now.
That's what I would refer to.
I think is that different than what was referred to goth at that point?
To me, goth is different because I wouldn't consider, and I would have no problem, I guess, saying I was a goth, but I don't consider myself a goth.
What are the differences of emo?
Emo is more of like I was gonna say something. I was like, I'm sad about my day.
Oh, okay.
Like, I just want to go and take out my anger. I'm sad.
Okay.
Goth is more like they're not sad. They're just stoic. Yes.
Stoic.
Emo is more skinny jeans, but that is not what I was wearing back in the day. No way was I wearing skinny jeans. Whoa. What? Tyler said emo was more poser energy, to be honest. Goths were hardcore.
Okay. All right. As I said, it sparked an interesting conversation that kind of intertwines the now and the then.
I wouldn't consider the emo people posers.
Listen, I don't know. I'm asking.
SD Mike, emo is more whiny. Goth tries to look scary. I think we have different. I think we might, because like that's interesting that your kids say that emo is now, or it's emo now.
Let me not put that on my kids. That is the perception they have given me. Maybe that's just me using my little bit of knowledge of what's happening right now, and kind of coming to my own conclusion. But I don't know.
K-Law says something pretty astute. I feel like goth is more lifestyle.
Okay.
Which, yes,
okay.
You're definitely, if you're in a,
if you're a goth, you're all the way. You're
in.
Yeah. That's a great point.
And I told Tony before the show, and I'll say it anyway. To me, the goths were the kids at my high school, El Costa Canyon, that hung out behind the theater at lunch.
And I was like, what the hell does that mean?
I thought every goth hung out behind the theater at lunch, okay? I loved my childhood, my past. I don't have many pictures. I'm not someone who's ever really taken pictures, so I wish I had more pictures of myself back in the day with my painted nails.
Here's the deal, though. In our era, we tried to avoid the camera. When the camera was,
that's true.
We weren't trying to be.
You're right.
And I think in essence, we were probably just living more in the moment at that
And also
time
in high
because-
school, you and I had to use real film in cameras.
Yeah, no, you could just
like
get
we
that-
had those
you
little
couldn't just-
windy cameras.
You couldn't just get the instant photo.
No, you could not get
No.
the instant photo unless you were using a Polaroid.
Right.
It wasn't on your cell phone. But anyway, Tony thought that was really funny.
I thought that was funny. I really did.
Do you
All right.
think Chris? What kind of? Never mind. We have to ask him when he gets here. I don't know what kind of high school student Chris was.
Padres will be on national TV a few times next year. And I like the way they spread it out too. It's kind of it's not all front loaded with a little back load. It's kind of spread out throughout the season. May 17th, they'll play at Seattle on Peacock.
Basically, when I was looking at this, I was like, "Where's Tony going to be?" Because this is your schedule.
Fair enough. July 5th at LA.
And that, I should say, is a bigger day for baseball. It's like Peacock and NBC are doing this huge like post 4th of July celebration, and they're having all 15 games being broadcast on Peacock.
I
and
may
NBC.
not be on that July 5th game, only because there's a possibility that I'll be moving Michaela into her dorms, start her collegiate career.
Well, let's cross that one off the list.
August 9th. This is the first one in San Diego.
The only
Peacock,
one.
August 9th, 8 p.m.
I think that's Eastern.
That's got to be Eastern.
It's Eastern. 5 p.m. It's not 8 p.m. That's like,
I'm like,
was this 1975?
We're going back to the days, huh? Yeah, 8 p.m. game against the Astros. They'll have it at home, and then they'll go to San Francisco September 13th. That is a 7 p.m. game as well. So
Brandon has a question that I think is important.
Okay.
Well, will Peacock still use the team's announcers like they did on Sunday morning games a few years back? I don't think so, because
have they hired somebody?
Yeah, I mean they have to hire someone to do the Sunday night games. I don't think that they're going to be using it. They could possibly when there's multiple games.
What they did before was they'd have a play-by-play guy, and then they have a representative from each team.
Yes.
To kind of do it. So you have two color guys and a play-by-play, one from each team. I think Mudcat got to do it.
He did
the 1 year for us. So
and Don will never live down the one game he did on Roku. Kershaw's not in the booth. Someone said Kershaw in the booth would make me angry. Kershaw is not going to be in the booth. He's going to be a studio analyst.
He's going to be a studio analyst.
The more I think about it, though, you're right. Joey Votto is the perfect person for the studio analyst job. Why is there even a question?
We're going to get all kinds of breakdowns. We're going to get some there'll be some props, I'm sure.
Yes, props, costumes.
Joey's going to be entertaining. I really
will
think
be.
so. I hope he is himself. Hope he's not too buttoned up because he's on national TV.
I don't think he could ever. I mean, I've seen the guy do twerk in a Harry Potter costume. he posted that on his own Instagram.
He is one of a kind for sure.
He is certainly one of a kind. All guests on 97.3 The Fan join us on the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys, helping good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. Tony, do you want to go into Dennis Lynn's article, or do we want to wait till the other side to talk about that?
We probably should wait till we get to the other side to talk about that.
All right, I got something for a second.
We can combine that with Rob Manfred and his interview with WFAN.
Yes.
As well.
All right, so on ESPN.com, Chris's favorite writer, David Schoenfeld. Thankfully, Chris is not here to just crush
Bash
the guy.
him,
yes. Like, it makes me uncomfortable sometimes. We've told him this before.
I want you guys to, when that happens again, you guys who are on the stream on YouTube, just watch Skraby's face as he starts to go in. Because I always immediately look at Skraby when he starts to go in on Schoenfield. Who else do you go in on often?
Tessitore.
That's his
Bob
favorite.
Costas. I could keep going for years.
I always look at Skraby to see. That's my meter of how hard Chris is going. If he's uncomfortable, I know Chris is going pretty hard.
Yeah, I'm very uncomfortable with some of that stuff. But David Schoenfeld put out this article that's the under the radar free agent fits, and I looked through it trying to find some Padres news. Some people have linked JT Realmuto to the Padres. I don't know that would really.
Who did that?
Reports.
Yeah. I think JT's going to be a little expensive.
I think so too. He is a 35-year-old catcher, though.
Yeah, I'm sure he is, but he's going to get his money.
Here's the one thing that caught my eye, and it has nothing to. The Padres cannot let something happen. And David Schoenfeld is writing that he believes Luis Arraez has a fit with 4 teams: the Padres, the White Sox, the Rangers, and the Rockies, with the Rockies being first. The Padres have to sign Luis Arraez right now so he does not spend his career in Colorado. I will not allow this to happen.
Wouldn't that be something?
That would be brutal for him.
Sign with the Rockies. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it would, maybe it wouldn't.
It would be. Well, he's playing on a team that just does not care.
I'm willing to give the new regime a chance.
Deep Podesta?
I mean, I'm not confident in it, but willing to give him a chance. See if they can pull it off.
All right, well, let's give him a chance. But my heart.
Forget that part. I mean, for Luis to be able to hit in Colorado for a whole season, you don't think that'd be beneficial?
I feel like Luis Arraez's energy is in a spot where they're winning.
Listen, there'd be no one to absorb that energy. You know, but
he's going to kill someone with a slap.
You still got a job to do. Go out and play.
Cole says at least he'll play every day. He was pretty much playing every day anyway.
Yeah,
so,
no.
I don't think.
All right, let's get to break. On the other side, we got Rob Manfred. He's saying some interesting things. He's actually giving us some substance,
some nuggets.
And we'll hear from when it won't hear from. We'll go over Dennis Lynn's article, the 5 things the Padres kind of still need to take care of before the season begins. More Gwynn and Chris on the other side.
Gwynn and Chris on.
All right, so here's what happened. I was at the corner, and I'm going to call out the streets because who cares? It was Claremont Mesa Drive and Ruffin Road, which is pretty close to our radio station here.
Yep.
I had to run over and pick up a little cash from the bank. That was simple, trip before I came into work. And I'm on Ruffin Road, coming up to Claremont Mesa Boulevard.
Ruffin Road can be a little rough sometimes.
They could pave that. It wouldn't hurt. Yeah, it wouldn't hurt. They can't call it paved road. I know that.
Wait, your issue isn't the potholes in the road?
No, that was I'm used to that. So we come up on Claremont Mesa, and we're at the stoplight. I'm in the left-hand turn lane to turn left on Claremont Mesa. I'm the third car back. And there's 2 left turn lanes. There's 3 cars in line here. And then the going straight is also red. And that is backed up each of the lanes. So that I've got cars on my right. I've got cars on my left. I got 2 in front of me. I got people behind me. No big deal. Light cycles through. And our turn doesn't come.
Oh, no.
So the cross traffic gets to go again. And then the people coming across in our direction, they get to go again. And then for a second time, they skip our turn. Well, that's what I thought. So now...
Actually, you're not going anywhere. You're stuck.
Right, you're stuck.
You're not going anywhere.
And my first thought, of course, as a good scout or, athlete, is to look around. Is there any way out? Can I back up? Can I, I'll do anything. But there is nowhere for me to go.
No.
It happens a third time.
Whoa.
And I'm pretty clear at this point, this light's broken. And I'm starting to think, how are we going to get out of this? Am I going to have to call, the police to come and fix it? No one's going to know it's broken.
911 emergency response.
Yeah.
Emergency. Ruffin Road in Claremont. The light is stuck.
The light is stuck. And so this is 5 minutes probably, but you can imagine 5 minutes.
No,
that's a long time, right?
Time.
Well, when it comes to the 4th time, I finally start just leaning on my horn.
Oh.
I'm trying to get...
What are the people in front of you going to do?
Well, because there was a moment, right, after the traffic comes this way, it paused.
You want them to run the light.
You could at least a couple people could run the light. We could get this going here.
You want them to run the light.
I did.
Break the law.
Well, they had to. Otherwise, we'd still be there. Anyway, so this is going on. So I'm starting leaning on my horn. The lady next to me looks at me like, what the hell are you doing?
Good for her. Good for her.
And good for her.
Kidding.
I'm like,
I'm
ma'am,
kidding.
are you just clueless? Were you going to sit here the rest of your life?
She has faith that the light's going to turn eventually.
Evidently so. If it had gone again, the guy next to me on this side rolled down his passenger window. That starts to go down. I think he's going to be mad, and he's like, "What?" And I'm like, "I'm pretty sure the light's broken. Like, how do you not know this? We've all been sitting here for 6-7 minutes now." The two cars at the very front of the left turn lane are not budging. So they apparently are content to sit there for as long as it need be.
They also have faith that the light is going to turn.
But I have no faith.
What gives them that faith?
Yeah, but what gave them the faith? I mean, it had cycled through 4 times now. The 5th time, I was going to just have to get out of my car and walk up to them and go, "Will you please do something?" Or get, and if you don't, and I would have something. You know what I would have said? If you don't want to run the light, just get out of my way so I can run the light. I'm not sitting here the rest of the day. And finally, on the 5th time, the first 2 people ran the light, and the next person was able to get half. You know what I mean? And after a couple more cycles through, I got out of there. But I don't know.
Did the light ever start working?
I don't know. If you're at Claremont Mason Rough and Road, you might still be there. I don't know. This was 45 minutes ago or so.
Wow.
So my question to you is, how differently would you have handled this than I did? And I'll start with you, Tony. Would there have been any difference, or do you know?
I don't know if I would have laid on my horn.
You would have just never laid on it.
I think I might have maybe rolled down the window, see if I could talk to somebody, see what else.
See if anybody else was in on it?
I don't think I would have laid on my horn because, listen, what you're asking is for them to, which may not be easy for everybody, and that is the timing between when because they're waiting for their light to turn.
Yes,
right?
they were waiting for
the light's not going to turn. But that also then requires them to guess the exact kind of when the timing of when they can go. And
you know what? Figure it out.
I think a lot of people wouldn't be comfortable with
running the light, even under these circumstances. Well, I think
not when there's other cars that could actually hit them.
Okay, I think you're right. And the reason I think you're right is because of the 40 to 50 cars that were now piled up in my area behind me and around me. I was the only one honking.
Right, and
then nobody else thought to do this. All right, so here's what happened. I was at the corner, and I'm going to call out the streets because who cares? It was Claremont Mesa Drive and Ruffin Road, which is pretty close to our radio station here.
Yeah.
I had to run over and pick up a little cash from the bank. That was simple, trip before I came into work. And I'm on Ruffin Road, coming up to Claremont Mesa Boulevard.
Ruffin Road can be a little rough sometimes.
Well, they could pave that. It wouldn't hurt. Yeah, it wouldn't hurt if they should.
Matt Skraby, Chris Ello out, headed to Utah.
His
Aztecs.
favorite place in the world.
Yeah, he doesn't like that place very much. Aztecs taking on Utah State. Lady Aztecs taking on Utah State tomorrow. Dennis Lynn kind of did the athletic version of what AJ Cassaville did at the beginning of the week. Top 5 things. I think AJ's was more top 5 holes that the Padres needed to fill. Dennis Lynn's is more 5 things that still could happen almost. Organizationally. Let's kind of go through this a little bit.
Actually, real quick. Crisello is idle.
Sorry.
Yes.
He's idle. Let me apologize, because that's right. We did talk about this. Chris Ello is indeed idle.
Yeah, but Dennis Lynn, do you want me to go through it?
Yeah.
Okay, so the first thing he asked was, why hasn't Preller been extended yet? And we asked this a lot, but they're saying that all discussions are going to take place in the appropriate time in the offseason. The potential complicating factor, according to Dennis Lynn, is that Eric Grupner got an extension through at least the 2029 season. And so would AJ Preller want an extension that goes along with his contract? So he also gets an extension through 2029. Or would they put him on like a Stammen deal where he has a 2028 contract extension expiration date? But could he be seeking a longer agreement is what the question is.
I think the length of the deal is one thing, but I imagine in the same way a player does, a manager does, that has went out and put up certain numbers, went out and guided their team to a certain level, a GM that has put together a consistent winner, I would imagine, wants to be paid as such.
Yeah.
And so, we often are talking about money in regards to the players and what the Padres can afford. This is also a part of that very same budget, right?
Yes.
Is that it may not go in terms of player salary, but
Yeah.
it is. I would imagine you're going to be in the mills to keep a guy like AJ Preller. Now, I don't know.
So.
I don't know what. I don't think it's. Does anybody know? Does anybody have those numbers? Like, what are GMs making across the league? Is there a publication that keeps track of that? I can't think of ever hearing, Brian Cashman gets paid about this much a year.
There's
speculation. I know
there's speculation. Top earners $10 million a year. They're saying that David Stearns is one of those guys.
Okay, that's a top earner, $10 million.
High end estimates $5 to $8 million. And
so where do you think AJ is in there? If the top end is 10,
first thought was they're trying to save money. AJ's got to be at the bottom of the middle.
Bottom of the middle.
And I'm just saying that because that's what I think they want to. That's what I think they want to pay him, not because they don't think he's worth it, but because they have to, because they need to save money. So it's not like they're saying he's a bad GM.
Lies what could be a sticking point. And
if you're saying, hey AJ, we'll give you $5 million, and AJ's like, listen, David Stearns missed the playoffs last year, and he's making $10 million. I want, and he's only been there for like 3 or 4 years. I've been here for nearly 11 years at this point. I want to see some cash money.
Cash money. Straight cash.
Straight cash, homie. Another question, and I asked this to myself on the Skraby show, and I don't know it's that big of a deal, but is his lack of long-term security, AJ Preller, influencing decision-making? Like, at some point, does he say, this is my last year in San Diego, I'm just going to burn everything down trying to win a championship?
Contrary to popular belief, that is not a thing that everybody is interested in doing. Burning it down just for the sake of burning it down and because you're going to move on. Not everybody is interested in doing that.
Good to know.
I don't think that AJ isn't that type of
guy. AJ. I mean,
I don't think he would do something like that. I mean, people can always surprise you, but I would be blown away surprised if he was just like, I'm burning it down because I'm not getting anything.
One day you show up to basketball and he's like, I just traded everyone.
I'd be very surprised.
Yeah. All right. That's it for the AJ Preller part. But the next one, how much starting pitching do the Padres still need? They have, as we've talked about, Michael King. We have Joe Musgrove. We have Nick Pivetta.
One more.
One more starter?
I think they need one more.
Max.
Someone that can fill out that fifth spot, and it provides them with more depth, right? Because now you have JP Sears, that's not a have to option. You have who was the other one that we had there in that spot? JP and
in the fifth spot,
Randy
Vasquez from times.
No, Randy's gonna be the 4, isn't he?
Nestor Cortez was in the rotation a little bit.
He's not there, so maybe it was just, and I guess Waldron, right? I mean, it gives you a little bit more room for error, assuming everybody can stay healthy and pitch. I mean, Randy, I think, man, I would love to see Randy take a big step forward.
He's gotten better each year. If you look at his numbers, he is getting to where they want him to go. They just need to trust him, and maybe with Mike Schill.
They don't need to trust him. He needs to earn that.
He needs to stop walking so many guys and then tight roping.
He got better by the end. Again, as you said, he's been better at the end of every season than he was to start.
Johnny Brito on the chat was mentioned. He will be back mid-year.
He's coming off of Tommy John.
Yes, maybe. Yeah, he was Tommy John. Who's going to play first base? Now, I guess they didn't take a big look at Kazuma Okamoto, which they were rumored to be involved with him. He ended up making 4 years, $60 million with $10.87 million posting fee. So he made a lot of money. They don't have a first baseman. So here is the current depth chart. Gavin Sheets with Jake at second base, and then a question mark after that because they don't have a first baseman at the moment.
Yeah, that's certainly something
that's a Luis Ariz, maybe. That's where we talk about him coming back.
In the Dennis Lynn article, it says that sources say that is unlikely. League sources say that is unlikely.
I choose not to read that.
Okay.
sentence.
It's fine. It's fine.
He did say that, and yes, I kind of forgot that part of it for a second. But available free agents with some pop. Rhys Hoskins, you like him?
I could do Rhys. I think Rhys would be good in that spot. He give you some sock.
Nathaniel Lowe's the other name option.
I think I like Hoskins better.
Me too.
I think Nathaniel's a better defensive first baseman, but I'll take Hoskins.
Here's the most interesting part of the article to me. How much spending room is left? Because that's the
this
question.
part I found interesting too. Because
we're actually getting an indication.
Yeah.
Which Dennis Lynn is saying when they signed Michael King to the 3-year, $75 million deal, they were considering or reportedly considering attempting to sign both King and Merrill Kelly, who would later wind up with the Arizona Diamondbacks. But Merrill Kelly ended up making $40 million. Michael King, $75 million.
$20 million.
I'm sorry.
Over two. I mean, $40 million over two.
Yeah, $40 million over two. But what this tells me and you is that there's some room. If they're willing to
but it doesn't
sign
tell us how much
those guys.
Like, how much did you miss out on Merrill? Did you miss out at all? I mean, did you offer $20 million a year?
You're like, hey, we'll give you 5.
right. Did you offer 10, 12, 13? Like, how serious was that actually?
That's a good point.
I would love for it to mean that there's room.
I would love for it to mean there's room too.
But to this point, that doesn't look to seem to be the case.
The opening day payroll is projected at $212 million for the Padres, which I think is fair enough. Luxury tax payroll at $260 million. Remember, you don't get taxed until the end of the year. Which players are still trade candidates is the last one. Pavetta, they're saying. I personally, Tony, I don't think they're going to trade any of these mainstay guys. I don't think they can afford to.
The Pods?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's really what they're in it to do anyway. I don't think they want to trade their guys. Now, listen, if there is a reliever out there that a team values extremely high, and they can get a starter or something, or a first baseman, or whatever they feel is the more important piece, I'm with that. They got a bunch of arms. They got some good bullpen arms. They built it up probably intentionally that way. And now you might be able to use a piece. I don't know what piece it is. I don't think it'll be Mason Miller.
I don't think so either. Maybe Jeremiah Estrada.
Could be Estrada. Could be a Morgan.
Oh, yeah. We forgot about David Morgan for the 5th spot. Possibly.
The article mentioned Mortejon and Estrada.
Yeah. So
I'd be a little bit probably. I'd be hurt if either Estrada or Mortejon went, for sure.
I was Crew Schoolcraft is like the name in the Padres system for pitching, and I guess teams are asking about Crew Schoolcraft.
I've heard his name quite often this offseason.
But those are the questions Dennis Lynn has for the Padres, and those are the answers that we have for the Padres. Now, Rob Manfred, WFAN. I've been waiting for this because I think Tony's going to enjoy these clips from the old commish, Rob Manfred. He was on Craig Carton, and now there's a possible work stoppage coming in 2027. So Rob Manfred said something here, Tony. I played these on the show last night, Skraby Show. He said something here that kind of surprised me, which is actually something you have been telling us for a little bit. But here's Rob Manfred on his concern over a potential work stoppage in 2027.
I came inside at baseball in 1998. We have always played through 5 or 6 rounds of bargaining. We have always played 162 games. Okay. All I can tell you is that when I came, my goal was to make sure that every time we bargained, we played 162. And that's my goal this time around. We haven't even started the process. And, candid conversation about, we see things that, need to be addressed. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to make this proposal or that proposal. I think we have to wait and see how things unfold at the table. We got lots and lots of time to work on it. And the most important thing for fans is certainly my goal to make sure that we played 162 games next year.
Interesting. And it's interesting because why did he feel the need to go on there? And I don't know, it felt like he was trying to tamper down the two things. He was trying to tamper down the lockout strike conversation. And it seemed to be like towards the end, he was also, when he's talking about proposals, also trying to tamp down on the whole salary cap thing.
Yes, and the salary cap is in the next clip we're going to play, and I don't know I don't know what order these came in the interview.
It doesn't really matter what order they came in. It does feel like, at least the way he was answering that question, that he was signaling that at least it shouldn't, because to be honest, the conversation has really been a lot about lockout strike and salary cap.
Yep.
Once all that kind of goes down, it has felt like foregone conclusion that, hearing some of the talking heads out there say it, a foregone conclusion that A, there was going to be a work stoppage, and B, that when the work stoppage happens, the owners were most certainly going to offer a salary cap or want to offer one. That has kind of been the signal that we've all got. And in here, it seemed like Rob Manfred has read and heard all of that and has went out of his way there to be like, listen, we don't know what's going to happen. We've played 162. We've made multiple references to that.
Yes.
All true, by the way.
Yeah. You might have had to play like a couple of days of double headers. We got done. It
was a little rough there, but we got it done. You're right. But it did seem like he was trying to tamp down some of that conversation. Now, he goes into the salary cap thing here later on, correct?
He goes into it right here, but Jeff says Tamper Down is the name of Manfred's emo band. But yes, he actually was asked next about
what they put up on the screen there.
Franchises that have never won the World Series: Padres, Brewers, Mariners, Rockies, Rays.
We're talking about this on MLB Network right now.
I don't even want to look at it.
57.
They have the Padres listed first, so maybe that. No, they're listed by year of founding. All right, I'm gonna move on.
Go
now.
ahead, get to the next.
So, Craig Carton asked Rob Manfred about a salary cap being a deal breaker in CBA negotiations.
That's a Tony Clark question. You know, I mean, it really is. I have never, and you know, really, until I got elected commissioner, all I did was labor relations. That's how I made my living. I've never been in a negotiation where before the first piece of paper went across the table, I or anyone I represented was out there saying, this we absolutely will not talk about. I just think it's a hard way to begin a negotiation.
Oops, sorry.
So not a denial by any means. He just was saying, we ain't even got a chance to really put our faces together to say that yet. You guys are already asking. Well, it's because some of your peoples have signaled that. There.
Yes,
it's that we didn't just pull that out of thin air.
Yeah, I mean, you remember the whole thing where he walked into the Phillies dugout or clubhouse, and Bryce Harper threatened to beat him up if he came in there with a salary cap.
You know who is certainly not bringing up salary caps? Players Union. So it's not coming from Tony Clark. They don't want to even have a conversation about it.
I don't know why they haven't even started the beginning parts of this.
I think that's bull junk.
You think it's bull junk?
I think it's bull junk.
Which is what Deion Sanders says for everybody out there.
I think they may not have an official proposal, but didn't we read that they had, there were some? There's going to be some meetings at least. Like you may not have exchanged real ideas yet, but
get it going. You have less than a year now for this thing to happen.
You know how it is, man. People tend to move.
That's how
timeline gets.
That's how
most human beings work.
I do my best work when I have very little
against
time.
The clock.
Yes,
and so this is part of all of that.
Rob Manfred talking about the free agency deadline. This is something I actually really liked. I'm curious to hear what you have to say, but is that something, a free agency deadline? Should there be a period where you can sign free agents and that's it? Here's what Rob Manfred said.
You know, the proposal really was not about trying to alter the terms of deals one direction or another. I'm kind of a believer in you have a deadline. You know, you're going to make the same deal give or take,
Right.
if you string it out. I think the reason I was interested in, I think that like from the 1st of December to the 20th, if we had a period in there when all that free agency activity went on, it's a great marketing opportunity for the game at a point in the calendar when, you're not quite in the NFL playoffs, the NBA still kind of early. And, it's a great chance to kind of own some off-season weeks, which is crucial to selling season tickets. So that's why I was interested.
Do you have look? It's an idea that is interesting. I like where his head is at. For so long, Major League Baseball has struggled to market their game in a way that the NFL does and the NBA does. I don't think that's ever been a secret. But there are unintended consequences, not for the big guys, the Kyle Tuckers. Those guys will go quickly in that 1st through the 20th time, but it's the other guys. And how does that work? I know the players union, and I saw Brent Rooker actually maybe a day or two before this interview popped, which was yesterday, had tweeted out how anti-player having a free agent deadline would be. And I think that's what he's speaking to the
I don't understand that.
The middle, because you got
for me, if I'm a player, I'm thinking, hey, I get a job quicker. I have a security before Christmas.
The big dogs will get the job quicker.
So then put some rules in where you have to. I don't know what the rules are, but there's got to be some guidelines.
I'm not going to sit here and act like I do know what the rules would be, but if they're taking that stance on it, at least in the opening, that does cause some problems. But it is an interesting idea. Like, it would be nice to have free agents flying off the board like that. But maybe the union at some point could explain, and maybe, a lot of times when you get into these negotiations, that type of stuff comes out and you kind of learn where both sides are coming from. They're not going to tip their hands at this point, clearly. You can kind of tell.
No.
We'll get into some more of this interview from Rob Manfred a little later on in the show. We got the Daily Gambit coming up next 3 o'clock hour. Coming. More Gwynn and Chris. about Rob Manfred in that last segment and the interview he did with WFAN. Evan Drellich this morning for The Athletic.
He's been on it.
This is where I got the Brett Rooker quote from. Wrote an article today kind of updating what Manfred said and what the union's reply is. Not only the union, but some of the agents. And it's not what you think it may be, at least on the agent side, or at least there is at least another perspective, I'll say. As we'll get into that a little bit later on in this, actually next segment, after we go through the daily gamut, we have some prop bet playoffs.
Yes. But I am excited to talk about this because this is going to dominate 2027.
It won't 2027.
Or 2026, I'm sorry.
It won't dominate this year.
You don't think so?
No. I don't think until I'd say we probably won't hear much about it until we get towards the back end of the season. Because that's when they'll start. That's kind of when they'll start. I mean, they'll have some meetings in there between, and unless there's like a deal done, those meetings will come and go, and we get to that back half, talks start to get a little more serious.
Yes.
And so I expect that it'll be, you hear little blurbs about it leading up, but I don't think it'll really make noise until the second half. But we're going to get more into it next segment. You got some daily gambit for us?
Yes, we do.
Let's get to it.
Do you like money?
I think about money a lot.
Do you like money without doing anything?
Winning.
Do you want to make money while watching sports?
I think Washington is immortal luck.
Washington! Woohoo! If you answered yes, this is your segment. Just don't blame us when you lose.
Nothing is ever your fault.
It's your game. Take it.
Gwynn and Chris go through the top bets of the day in The Daily Gambit on 97.3 The Fan.
Daily Gambit is our daily sports betting segment here on Gwynn and Chris. Please, everybody, gamble responsibly. Chris,
Real quick.
Yes.
The report is Tariq Skubal and Tigers are far apart on arbitration figures. Listen to this sea of money. Oh, what?
Isn't that what I said yesterday?
But look at this sea of money, though, in between. 32 and 19.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
Big difference. This wasn't what the conversation was about, though.
I said there's trouble brewing in Detroit.
Oh, well, there might be trouble brewing, but I'm just saying that's a C.
Well, what I was talking about,
that's not like 20. That's not like 32 and 28 or 25.
Where you could be like, all right, fine, we'll meet in the middle,
right?
Because like, who has Skubal ultimately probably has to give in, right?
No, he's gonna go to arbitration. They're gonna let the arbiters decide.
Well, he's back-to-back Cy Young. Yeah, just put all of his Cy Young awards in front of the arbiter.
Listen, why not shoot for the moon?
It's a little disrespectful of the Tigers, I gotta say. 19
seems a little short.
Seems really short for a guy who's carried your franchise the last 2 years. It's very short-sighted. Because now you've Corbin Burns yourself with the Brewers. You've Josh Hader yourself.
Tariq does not decide to go to the arbitration here.
What do you hope he does? Just take the 19 mil?
No, I'm saying just don't physically go and hear the Tigers bashing you.
Yes, okay.
I don't think it's worth it.
Because Corbin Burns came out of there and he looked like he was a different human being.
Especially if you like Detroit. Like if there's any chance you want to stay.
Yeah.
Don't go. You know they're going to do what they do so they can keep your number down, even if they don't even believe it.
They're going to bring up tweets that fans have sent for years, just mean things. All right, so we'll keep an eye on that as well. We are broadcasting live from the Bill House Studios. We know how. Miami last night, -3 over Ole Miss. We're going to be talking to Jesse Agler at 3:40 about his time at the game. You guys, or Chris and I chose Ole Miss. Tony did the U because he wanted to do the cool U logo with his hands. The U won 31-27. Incredible game.
Over?
No, it was just the spread. But the game was over. So you also went over, and Chris and I went under.
Yeah.
But
this is just a spread.
So you're 2-0.
Yes, I am.
Chris and I are 0-2.
Yes, I am.
Now, we also have to talk about, we're going to talk about the Big Five, but Trinidad Chambliss has had some news handed down by the NCAA about his eligibility. Bad news. But last night, the bet was who would have more passing yards, Chambliss or Beck. Chambliss was minus 30 on the spread. Chris went Chambliss. We went Beck. Beck had 268. Chambliss had 277. Minus that 30 is 247. So you're 3-0, Tony. Now here's where it ends.
Thank you.
UCSD minus 13.5 against Cal State Fullerton. We all went Tritons thinking this was easy. Fullerton ended up beating UCSD 88-71.
See, this is what happens when you pick with your heart.
Yeah, not even close.
Everything in my gut was telling me to say the Titans, but I said the Tritons instead.
You said that's right. It was a Tritons versus the Titans.
Yep.
USD minus 4.5 against Pepperdine. Chris went Pepperdine. We went USD, and the Toreros went 83-63. So you're 4-1. San Francisco Dons at Loyola Marymount. Loyola Marymount minus 1.5. I went Dons, my alma mater. Chris and Tony went LMU. LMU won 84-82, and they did it in double OT, so they end up winning the spread.
What did we pick on that one?
You guys went LMU, so you're 5-1 or 6-1?
Yeah, I've only got one loss. I know that.
Yeah, I know that too. Donovan Mitchell, who scored more points, Donovan Mitchell or Ant-Man?
I lost this one.
Donovan Mitchell minus 1. Chris went Mitchell. We went Ant-Man. Mitchell had 29 or 30 minus that 129. Ant-Man had 25. And then finally, Norman Powell over under 21.5 points. The game was suspended because there was condensation on the floor from the ice below. So they did not play their game last night. All right, into the...
It doesn't just happen.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't just happen.
It doesn't just happen to Steph Curry at Viejas Arena. It happens to Norman Powell too.
Old arenas.
It is a pretty old arena.
Yeah. I mean, you think of the United Center. I mean, that was like a new center when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like they had just moved in.
Oh man.
The house that Mike built.
They're good. We need a new stadium now.
They're gonna be they're gonna be two of them. Well, at least the city of Chicago will have one of them.
No, I think the Bears are moving to like Kentucky or something and claiming that they're still in Chicago. All right, here's some bets for the weekend. I felt like this might be the easiest bet of the weekend for an over-under, but you never know in the NFL playoffs. Puka Nacua, over-under 90.5 receiving yards.
Who they got again? Oh, Panthers?
Panthers in
they
Carolina.
Got some good DBs over there, but I think one of them's hurt. I'm gonna. What is this one?
Receiving yards over under 90.5.
Over.
Over. I got to go over too. The guy is like a walking 100-yard machine. Caleb Williams, your guy, against the Packers on Saturday night. I saw that there's going to be some light wind and snow flurries in Chicago.
He's got a Michael Vick like arm. Yeah. From the right side.
Yeah, just like a whiplash.
I would hate to catch a ball from him in that kind of weather. Like, he doesn't. I don't know that I've never seen him. Like, he doesn't throw it soft. I don't think he has like
he just
like touch like that.
He's like Peyton Manning in that
like
commercial. Yes, he is throwing fast. All right, over under 212.5 passing yards.
212.5.
I think he has to go over this. Although the one thing that stops me or makes me think maybe under would be that they got a pretty good running game. And when their running game gets going, it's very easy for them to run. So I would think they stuck with that. What do you say, Tony?
I'm going to say over.
You're going to say over?
I'm going to say over.
Okay.
Despite all those things you said.
Despite everything that I just said. Next one is for Drake May. The MVP. Everybody thinks it's going to be the MVP. Over under 250.5 passing yards, Tony. Against the
200 and how much?
250.5 against the Chargers for Drake May.
50.5? 250?
Passing yards, yes.
Under.
Yeah, I don't know what people are thinking here. I'm pretty sure the Chargers have a good secondary. I'm going to say under as well. But every time I do this against the Patriots...
That's a lot for someone in their first playoff game. Over 250.
Yeah, that is a ton. And they're, I guess, expecting the Chargers to let them run up and down the field. I don't know. It's weird. Aaron Rodgers, this is the bet I searched. I kept searching for bets. This one kept coming up as the bet to take. And it's Aaron Rodgers over under 20.5 completions. Because this dude will complete 30 passes of an average of 7 yards per pass. So he's throwing a lot of short passes. I'm going to go with the internet and say over.
So how many times are they going to throw it, do you think, then? 20
25?
completions?
They don't really have a running game. I mean, they do a lot of screens to Jaylen Warren, too.
Under.
Under. All right. Now,
Is that all you got?
no, 49ers, Eagles.
Of course.
CMC. Or actually, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to open it up, Tony. Who do you think is the first touchdown scorer of the game in the 49ers versus the Eagles?
Jalen Hurts.
Oh, well, that's a pretty good one. He's plus 600. That's actually a pretty good bet. Because of the tushy pushy. I'm going to go with my guy CMC. That's the only guy that can score first for the 49ers. He's plus 550. So there we go.
There you have it.
I don't really have any other bets.
All right. Let's get to break. On the other side, we'll go back into Rob Manfred's interview. Interesting stuff being said. Fired, both sides, when we return. No traffic, at least not in the beginning, maybe at the other end. Gwynn and Chris on the other side.
Look.
Matt Skraby. I'm going to get to it, but what a game last night.
Oh, yeah.
Hurricanes, Ole Miss going back and forth. Supposed to be a low-scoring affair. It
was for a little bit.
It was, and then it just exploded. And both teams could have very easily won that game. But Miami, I think Skraby kind of hit on it while we were here early in that game. They just looked like the more physical team.
They were.
And it remained that way. I mean, don't get me wrong, Ole Miss made some nice plays. A possible no call at the end with the possible pass interference.
Yeah.
But I thought Miami was the better team watching that game last night.
I did too. I felt good for Carson Beck because he gets trashed a lot for playing at Georgia and all the losses that he took there. But what do you think about pass interference for college versus NFL? Because college it's a 15-yard penalty. NFL it's a spot foul. I don't know that I like the NFL being spot foul all the time. Maybe spot foul under 2 minutes in a half, but a 15-yard penalty seems like an appropriate penalty for a pass interference.
I haven't really thought about it. That's a good question. I always have hated, just in general, the college levels having different rules than the NFL. Than the pros, because that's where if we were being honest back in the day, I think we're being very honest about it now. All roads are leading to that, right?
Yeah.
So why not have the same exact rules? But it does make for a more intriguing game sometimes, you know. In college, you can't advance the ball on the timeout. You got to go full court
in basketball.
And it has created some epic moments because of that. So I don't know how I guess I could go either way. It could be, I don't know if I like the NFL just doing 15-yard penalties. And that might just only simply be because I've only seen it the way that it is.
I think, it's too easy for a receiver to get some guy to grab him on the way down, and then they get a 40-yard gain.
You gotta at least allow cornerbacks a little. They get
nothing.
No leeway in NFL. Like you breathe too hard on a dude, flags going up.
Yeah, maybe just under 2 minutes you get spot foul, and then
why
otherwise
under 2
you
though? That's the most important part of the game. You're gonna give them the whole field on a 60-yard
that's
bomb?
What I'm saying. Like, what if a corner knows it's a 15-yard penalty, but instead he just takes him down, and he's like, "It's not going to hurt me. I'll take the 15 over the spot foul."
I don't know if I want to see that either.
And the NFL is also in the business of being entertaining, so they need points.
Let's be real. So is college. They're in the business of entertaining.
They are, but the NFL's like, yeah, we'll give you 50 free yards.
It's not free. You earned it.
Sometimes.
That's more on maybe the poor officiating that is happening.
Yeah, I feel like officiating is getting worse, but that's a conversation for another day.
Yeah.
Let's go. The union has responded.
Let's go back to this idea of the free agent deadline. Rob Manfred certainly thought it was a good idea. I said it was interesting. I do. The union has responded. Why don't you hit us with this union response?
Yes, the union response is. Sorry, I was not ready.
I got you. If you're not ready,
go for it.
The union responded simply by saying, "No, now I'll read you exactly what Tony Clark, the head of the players' union, he said. Then warned Manfred could be veering into quote self-defeating calculation of massive proportions." After Manfred said he didn't buy the players' argument against the deadline, that it would lead to subpar contracts for players. Manfred indicated he's indeed likely to again propose. Now, he says again because this has been proposed in the last two collective bargaining agreements. The one that produced baseball from, I believe, 2017 to 2021. And then in the negotiations for the where we are at now, it was again proposed, and it sounded like, just kind of reading through some of the kind of responses. Let me finish reading you what Manfred indicated indeed offering that or proposing that in the next labor negotiation. He says, I think there are going to be some more conversations about it because I do believe that there's a marketing opportunity. And this is kind of what you heard him say to WFAN and host Craig Carton, that he's viewing this from a marketing standpoint, not necessarily, well, at least that's how he's presenting it, that it's not necessarily a financial opportunity. This is more like, let's steal December when there's no, NFL hasn't quite gotten to the postseason yet. NBA is, as he said, is still in its early years.
He doesn't even mention hockey.
He did. He just skipped right on over that. And so, and just to be clear, baseball free agents can sign during spring training or even once the season has begun. Fans, media, and industry officials often raise the deadline discussion when free agency goes slowly, as it has this winter. And we've had a couple people on tell you that it hasn't really gone slowly. It's kind of business as usual is probably more the idea. I can tell you what they said. I don't know what was in their heads. I said, I can only tell you what they said. I don't know what was in their heads. But what they said back was, they thought that kind of deadline would work to disadvantage of the players. And, I don't put much credence into this, he says. Clark responded forcefully, as you would expect.
All right, dueling responses.
Yes. Free agency thrives when competition thrives on and off the field. If the owners are genuinely interested in improving free agency, there are many ways to get there. And we look forward to having that discussion in the coming months.
Oh,
but if their true interest is to blow up the very system, and this is where when you're the head of the PA, you always want to tie in something that the other side said into this bow. And this is what Tony Clark does. He's
very passive aggressive too.
But if their true interest is to blow up the very system on which our streak of uninterrupted seasons has been built. Now, remember, Manfred made reference to ever since
we've never missed the season.
Missed it. With the game reaching record heights and poised to go even higher, no less. That would be the quote I gave you earlier, a self-defeating miscalculation of mass proportions.
This is going to be ugly, but I feel like this is how it always is.
But I
feel like this is a very serious topic, though, that is going to be tough.
I think, and the thing is, this topic is going to be tough, and it's going to be discussed. But again, I still pull you back to all of the TV rights deals that are going to come up at the end of 28. And so you're trying to tie this piece in order to, as one of the things, but that piece right there is the financial piece that Manfred is trying to corral. This is a marketing situation. And I'm not mad at the idea in terms of just trying to stay loud during the off season. You're not completely dormant.
Yeah.
I understand that idea. They also, Evan Drellich also got some of the agents' opinions on this. And, Scott Boras went as I think you would imagine it would.
Did he do some sort of riddle with every letter with the same?
He didn't give us a riddle like A through Z.
Yeah.
He said the sole purpose of deadline is to simply restrict competition and deny players the true market. Our current rules allow for ultimate roster construction and the best possible team for a season. A deadline is not for competition reasons. Every owner wants the opportunity for time to allow him to respond to changes by his competitors. That's why there's been many significant signings more in late January, February, and March because owners have responded. And that's the business that Scott Boras is in, that I don't know that every agent is in, that he's not talking to GMs all the time. He's also talking to the big man that writes all the checks.
Yeah.
And that's where his game is a lot of times won. He's charming enough when he gets into those rooms, and it has the type of clients that garner him getting into those rooms. He has often won. Remember the demise he was supposed to have a couple years ago?
Yeah. Well, it worked for that one off season, and then it came right back. Of course, Scott Boras would say this is a danger to players everywhere.
He said, yes, certainly for the premium position players and the premium start. Well, let me read you a little bit before. He said Kyle Tucker, Bo Bichette, Framber Valdez are among the other standout players available this winter. Boris said he thinks the market has been slow, but only for certain types of players. Yes, certainly for the premium position player and the premium starters, it has. For relief pitchers, closers, no. Others, and this is where you kind of were interested, Skraby, others see some potential in the deadline system, but they have unanswered questions. One being Joe Wolf, head of the Wasserman Agency baseball division.
Oh, is this the guy who said, is this the Roki Sasaki agent?
I think he is.
You can't listen to anything you're about to read.
Listen what he has to say, though, because you were like, had your eyebrow raised before you knew who it
until
was.
I know it was Joel Wolf.
He said has seen positive results with deadlines when clients have joined MLB from abroad.
Oh, I like that quote.
The posting process of the Japanese pro players includes a signing window. If there was a way to recreate the exceptional efficiency of the posting system for all the free agents, I would certainly be interested in that, said Wolf, who represents, Roki Sasaki and Yoshinobu Yamamoto. But I have yet to see a good answer as to what happens to the free agents if they go unsigned.
Yeah.
That doesn't unfairly prejudice them.
Yeah.
MLB teams always seem to find a way to game the system and crush a large part of the class. I think it's worth exploring. So you have one agent that was like, hell no.
Yeah.
We don't need to even smell it.
Yeah.
Joe Wolf, on the other hand, even though he has some unanswered questions, he thinks it's worth exploring. So you have to know that agents like that are going to talk to their players. They're going to give their opinion on it. And, as he's pointing out, it's crushing not the top 2% of a free agent. How would it affect the mass?
It's like
majority?
the Bryce Johnsons, like guys like that.
Right. And now, guys who are big leaguers,
yes,
but aren't superstars.
They're not making the millions and millions and millions of dollars.
And so, it brings up a very good, I think, starting point, because it seemed like even Tony Clark, to some extent, is open to having some of these conversations.
Yeah, my ears perked up when he said there's many pathways to this.
So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. Maybe it's a good thing that this is starting to pop up here in January in terms of, I know they haven't had conversations, but at least there's some ideas being floated out there.
All right.
A little bit. All right, let's get to break. What we got on the other side? Oh,
your guy.
My guy, Jesse Agler, will join us, talk a little Miami football. He was there in the building last night. We'll find out how it was and if he's going to make a trip to Miami to see if they can finish it off. More Gwynn and Chris on the other side.
Ben and
3:36 on the clock. Tony Gwynn Jr., Matt Skraby. Just kind of laid out the possible talking points for the union and Major League Baseball. Is
You want to go negotiate?
No,
It
no.
sounds like you're ready.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I like my job.
Okay.
Jesse Agler will join us here shortly. All guests on the 97.3 The Fan join us on the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys, helping good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. Colin Kaepernick. No, not Colin Kaepernick.
I was
Colin
like,
Cowherd.
wait, what?
Colin Cowherd. He threw some gasoline on this John Harbaugh to Miami.
Oh, I have something in the Big Five too about his demands, John Harbaugh's demands for teams. But
that's why
ahead.
I brought it up.
Yeah.
I was going to say that in the Big Five, Skraby's got some of those demands that could possibly lead to him going to Miami. We'll see.
He does make Colin Cowherd makes a pretty darn good point because the owner and the Harbaugh family go way back.
I'm sure they do.
Because
and listen, he can get out of it. Listen, these are the demands that I'm sure John will deny, and we don't know if they're true.
And you're going to have to wait till the Big Five, but they're ridiculous.
But he can get out of all of it, especially assuming he wants to pick a GM. If they're buddies already and they make a move and it already aligns, he won't have to say nothing. It'll look like he came in after.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That John Harbaugh thing is going to get extremely hot.
I mean, obviously he's a great coach. He's not Bill Belichick.
No, he's not. But
he's
closest thing you got to it right now.
Really?
I mean, who else is even in that? Even
Andy Reid.
Okay, yeah, that's true. Andy.
What does he make
after Andy? Who's not available, by the way.
He's not. You're right. Andy. After Andy,
there's no one.
All right. All right.
We putting my man for the Eagles there already?
I am not going to put Nick Sirianni up there. I'm not going to put Mike Vrabel up there either. Okay.
Okay.
Listen, I didn't say Kyle Shanahan.
He's the best available, and you try to leverage that.
He's definitely the best available. I don't know. Mike McDaniel's back on the market.
About an hour and 6 minutes away from hopefully another terrific semifinal matchup in NCAA football. Oregon, the 5th seed, Indiana, the 1 seed, and they've looked almost unbeatable since taking down Ohio State.
Yeah,
they've looked unbeatable all year, but they especially have looked tougher since having to take down Ohio State and then turning around and beating.
I don't think they took down Ohio State. They played Alabama.
No, they played Ohio State in the final.
I see what you're saying.
The game before they beat up on Alabama.
Yes.
They beat a terrific Ohio State team.
Yeah, they did.
So Oregon is capable of beating anybody. So we know that. But this should be a really, really, really good
I told
game.
you, I'm cheering for Indiana because my grandpa went there and he never got to see the football team
I need
again.
you to call Jess because I was stalling. This was a stall tactic to allow you to call.
Oh, let's go to traffic then. Oh, I didn't know that.
All right, let's go to traffic.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Already a busy afternoon on some of our freeways. Crash involving a motorcycle eastbound 8 near the 125. It's been moved into the center divide. Also traveling on southbound 805 before La Jolla Village Drive. Some large tire tread reported in the slow lane. Accident North 5 coastline near Loma Santa Fe. That's being moved over to the right shoulder. We also have a crash at the clearing stage on westbound 78 to the southbound 5 connector. And northbound 15 just before Miramar Road. Reports of some furniture in middle lanes. New year, new goals. Start with your car at Valvoline Instant Oil Change. A fast oil change and essential maintenance checks help keep you moving into the new year. Check it off your list. Visit SoCalOilChange.com. Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Ready when you are. I'm Kelly Danick with Gwynn and Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right. Joining us, my good friend, my partner, Jesse Agler, graduated from the University of Miami, and he got to go to the semifinal matchup last night. I got to say, Jess, when I saw the first photo, I stared at it for like 10 minutes. I was like, Is he not? He's no way he's there. He's not there. And then as I text you, you eventually got back and said that you and Jonah were both there. How were you planning this the whole time? Like if they got to this point?
Yeah, when they were announced that they were in the playoff, I got the emails immediately from the school about get your tickets, and they had the prices listed for each round, and I was like, well, I'm not gonna fly to Dallas for the second round. I was like, that kind of feels unreasonable. I was like, but they're gonna be in Phoenix, third round. It wasn't cheap, but it wasn't like ridiculous. I was like, all right, I'll put a deposit down on that, and you get it back if they don't make that round. And I didn't necessarily think that they were gonna get that far, so I did that, and I was looking at the national championship game. Of course, it's back, in Miami, and the prices for that were exorbitant. So I was like, all right, I'll like make the semifinal the plan. I can drive over. It's during winter break, so I'll bring Jonah. And so yeah, that was the idea. Maybe they surprised me a little bit by getting that far, by beating Texas A&M and beating Ohio State, but that's a pleasant surprise. And man, it was awesome. Like that's the first time I've been to a Miami football game as a fan since I moved to San Diego. 13 years ago or whatever it is now. So it was cool. It was worth the wait. That's for sure.
It was a terrific game, first and foremost. And I was feeling every moment with you as the game was going along. I knew exactly how you were feeling. You took Jonah with you, took your son with you. Tell us what that was like. Well, from what I know, Jonah's hasn't been super interested in the sport. So the fact that you got him there, I was super pumped for you.
Yeah, it was cool. He's definitely not like the world's biggest sports fan. He has he's very smart. He's like got this intellectual curiosity about sports more than like a fan interest, if that makes sense.
Right.
So like, I'm trying to get him into it, and he's like on a website on my phone, like reading the rules of football. Like that's kind of like, that's what he's up to. But, this was his first football game. It was tough because everybody stood the entire time.
Right.
And he's 9.
Right.
And he's a tall 9-year-old, but he's still 9. And there's a 50-year-old man in front of him. So he couldn't see the field.
Okay.
So and like he didn't want to stand on his seat, and like so he had a hard time kind of seeing everything. So it was maybe not like the best experience from that standpoint for him for like watching the game, but I think being in that environment was eye-opening to him. We had a lot of talk about when cursing is and is not appropriate after the fact, because it's a big football game, like it's nonstop the entire time, and we were in the Miami section, kind of in the corner of the end zone there. So like anytime anything good happened for the Canes, everybody around us who he had never met in his life until an hour before, they're high-fiving, and he's looking at me like, am I allowed to high-five these people? It's like it's all that kind of stuff. So it was cool, kind of having that experience. My wife asked me when we got home like 20 minutes ago, she's like, do you think he's going to be like a big football fan now? I was like, no, I think we went backwards on that. But like, nonetheless, it was awesome, and something I know I will, forever cherish. And the rest of the trip, he had a great time. They had a cool like robotic froyo machine at the stadium. That was kind of like a highlight for him. So, hopefully he remembers those things, and it's all kind of a big happy memory.
So you've already taken away one of my questions, which was, will you be heading to the national championship? If it's an exorbitant amount, I don't expect you to be headed to Miami. In terms of the game itself, I know you were a little uneasy with some of the mistakes that the University of Miami was making, but I don't know. From watching it on television, they seem like the more physical team from start to finish, and they just seem like the better team, quite frankly, from start to finish. At least that's how it played out on television.
Yeah. No, I don't think there's any doubt. And I mean, like, you watch enough sports in your life, right? And you just sometimes you get that bad feeling. You're making a lot of mistakes. You're letting the other team hang around. Usually you end up paying a price for that. We see it in baseball. You and I talk about it 25 times a year probably in the regular season. You let a team hang around when you shouldn't. Generally, you're not going to get the result you want. And so, it was going through my head the whole game. I was like, we might be 15 mistakes better than Ole Miss, but we're not 20 mistakes better than Ole Miss. And like it felt like they made 20. I mean, there were 2 dropped pick sixes, a couple missed wide open, probably would have been touchdown throws.
Yeah.
Other drops, with the receiving core, the busted play, the missed field goal, all that. It's kind of like, oh man, like the penalties. And like they made more mistakes in that game than they made probably in the previous 6 games put together. And it was like, usually you get this deep into a playoff run or deep into an important game. Yeah, you're not going to get away with that. But I think that goes to just how much better they were. And the cool thing, you mentioned this, like, not to get 2 X's and O's, but like they are a physical football team, both sides.
Yeah.
And, that still wins in 2026, which is cool because, I think a lot of people, sort of you had the analytics revolution in baseball that we talk a lot about on the broadcast and, kind of how maybe that had gone too far, with some things. I think you had a similar thing play out in football. And, that they're a really good reminder that if you have a dominant line, one or the other, or both, as I think is the case with them, you're still going to win some football games.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch, I think.
You're going to be in position for sure to win some of those football games. Jesse Agler joins us here, my partner, voice of the San Diego Padres. Was it as intense in the building as it seemed on TV? There were times where it felt like you could cut the tension with a knife through the television screen.
From moment one. I mean, it was like, first of all, walking in, this is a little bit maybe TMI personal, but walking in, I grew up in South Florida. I went to the University of Miami. So in my life, I'd always taken for granted that you're going to be surrounded by people who are fans of this team. You go to the games or whatever. And I've been here on the West Coast for, since 2014, 12 years. And walking in yesterday and seeing all these people in Miami shirts, I was like, oh man, I kind of chilled. It was just weird. I was I haven't experienced this in so long. It was kind of a weird, moment of feeling something that I hadn't felt in a long time. And then from the time we got into the stadium about an hour before kickoff. And I mean, the place was pretty much packed. Everybody was pretty much in their seats an hour out. And both sides, the Ole Miss side, the Miami side. And it was just everybody knew A, how big of a game it was. And everybody knew B, it was probably going to be a close game. Nobody, I think, on either side was yeah, we're going to run away with this. And it certainly played out that way. And I mean, it was intense. It was every mistake felt like a dagger to the heart. And as I said, there were a lot of them. It was wild, man. I get the reputation, and it's well earned, I think, when it comes to Padre talk, right? I'm and you too, very even keeled, very intellectual more than emotional, right? That's kind of our niche. You and I have carved out. We're going to be the sensible people when it comes to the Padres. You've seen me watch Miami football. It ain't that. And so you can imagine, last night, and I'm oh my gosh, every play.
Were you able to go to sleep after that game last night? Was it hard to fall asleep?
Oh, I was up. First of all, it took it's an 11-minute drive with no traffic back to where we were staying. It took an hour because of the traffic coming out. And then I was up when we got back to the hotel. I was up for another 2.5 hours, just as if I had 30 cups of coffee.
That's great. That's great. Jesse Agler joins us here on Gwynn and Chris. I got to get some of these baseball questions because we haven't really talked. Padres were able to bring back Michael King. Obviously, that was a piece that you kind of needed. You were already going to miss out on one of your big pitchers that left already in Dylan Cease. How big of a signing, obviously, was this for the Padres?
I mean, it felt to me like it was critical, and it was cool because how the rumor mill works, right? What was it, a week before that? You saw, the John Boyer, whoever had a poster was the finalists for Michael King are the Orioles and the Yankees and the Mets, maybe, I don't remember, some other East Coast team.
Wasn't the Padres, I know that.
Yeah, it wasn't that, that's right. And then next thing you knew, AJ did his thing. And, I think, we were at the Michael King press conference and clearly this place has come to mean something deep to Michael King, not only to Michael King, but to his lovely wife, Sheila, their newborn, to his parents, to his family. And I relate to this, you come here and it feels like the farthest place in the world from where you're from. And it feels so right. It feels so much like home. And he clearly has that. And I think, that just adds to the value that you're getting. And it allowed you to kind of bring back somebody that is so critical to your on-field thing. And, I talked to both Michael and AJ about it that day. This was not the case with the Padres all that long ago. Where it's that kind of free agent destination. And so what, ownership and the business side in terms of attendance and marketing and everything that we've created here, and obviously the baseball side have manufactured in San Diego, it has completely changed the way free agents view the San Diego Padres. And it is now a top list, a bullet point #1 destination for guys, whether they played here or not. And that's something we should probably step back and appreciate a little more often. Not that I got to tell you, but that wasn't the case for a lot of years.
I think it's just something that kind of just flies under the radar, right? Because every offseason, AJ is right squarely in the mix of things. But it's important to remember that That wasn't all that easy before. You couldn't even get in the door sometimes talk to some of these free agents now.
And I know people don't want to like go crazy on like the Eric Hosmer talk, but like it when you write the book on this era of Padre baseball, that's chapter 1. That's chapter 1.
Yep.
And getting a guy who was looked at the way he was looked at by other players, you forget everything else. The way he was looked at by other players, he had the ultimate respect after the World Series in Kansas City and what he had accomplished there, and the way he came up with that group of guys there. The guys around the league saw Eric Hosmer as a dude, okay? And so when a dude signed here, that raised some eyebrows, that turned some heads, and that kind of got the ball rolling on the whole thing. It's incredible.
There's no doubt. All right, we about 32 days before pitchers and catchers report. How ready are you to get this thing rolling again?
I'll be ready, baby. No, I'm pumped, man. Like, you know, it's I don't know if it's the same for you, but like, you know, for me, the second the season ends, there's like a little bit of like oh my gosh, I can breathe. You know, you're upset about the way it ended this year, certainly, but it's like, okay, like I know I can go to the gym and like take my kids to school every day now. And then for me, like by Thanksgiving, I'm like, you know, I'm like an addict. I'm like scratching my arm. I'm like, I need baseball. And then the holidays come, and that's kind of a good distraction.
Exactly.
It's family time. But you know, January 1st, it's like, all right, man, let's go. Like, you know, kind of tapping the foot a little bit. Like, let's get this thing going. So the Canes football team has given me a nice, you know, sporting outlet, I guess. And they got one more, thankfully, 10 days from now. But you know, I'm ready to go. I stayed in Peoria the last 2 nights for the football game, so I got a little bit of like a
taste already.
Yeah. I went into the office. I saw Todd and everybody, so I'm fully ready to go. As I'm sure you are.
Yep, indeed. Jesse, appreciate you coming on, man. I'm happy for you and the rest of the University of Miami. And, you know, I'll be watching the finals along with you, whether we're together or not. We'll be texting one another if we're not. A lot of fun to hear the story about you going out, though. Appreciate you coming on.
My pleasure, man.
Jesse Agler on Gwynn and Chris there, my partner, color man. Play-by-play man for San Diego Padres.
Wait, I was gonna say you guys switch jobs.
No, I don't want his job. He's got a lot more talking to do than I do.
You know what was like not really fun about last night's game? I don't have anything against Miami, but I did not want them to win just so the Ole Miss kids can stick it to Lane Kiffin. So I had that in the back of my head because Miami's not like a bad team. I don't hate them or anything like that.
I was rooting for Miami because no one had been talking about them at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, now we'll root for Miami because Jesse's behind it.
They're kind of an afterthought.
That's funny. His son, I don't know much about his son, but his son liked the Froyo machine. Is his son like an engineer type kid?
Jonah's super smart.
Sounds like
super.
Sounds like
let's get to break on the other side. Gwynn versus the fans?
Gwynn versus the fans.
Let's get it.
I don't know why I did it like that.
I don't either.
All right.
AJ, this season started off amazingly well, and it kind of had to tread water there in the middle part of the season. You go out, you make the moves to improve this ball club. Is this part of what you envisioned when you went out and made those moves?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, we played great ball to start the season. Hopefully we start the year, end the year playing our best ball of the year. And yeah, I think the deadline, we needed to round the club out. So we thought we had a team that could get to this point. Probably, you know, knew we needed some reinforcements. Our baseball ops team did a great job. I think seeing Freddie get the big hit tonight was fun to watch. I think it was all part of the puzzle, honestly, just rounding out the team.
I mean, throughout the course of the season, different things have popped up in terms of what you guys needed to add or what you needed to improve. Talk about this coaching staff, because they seem to pull a lot of things out of guys that hadn't reached the potential that we've seen them reach this year.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Gavin Sheets that comes here with the opportunity, talking to Schulte, Victor, Mike McCoy's done an unbelievable job with Gavin. You know, you see guys like, you know, at the end of the day, you look at the bullpen piece of David Morgan coming up through the organization, coming right into the mix in the big leagues. Schulte every day. It's you know, every day is to talk about what baseball excellence looks like. It's a teaching class. the group is like, it's a thankless job. They're here at noon every day. They're the last guys to leave. It's a huge part of our success as our coaching staff. And when you can give them talented players and then see those guys achieve and overachieve, that's a testament to the work the staff does every day.
Probably one of the moves that doesn't get talked about enough is you bring Nick Pivetta in kind of last minute. You had to get creative. Just talk about that signing and how big it was for this ball club.
Yeah, it's kind of fitting he's on the mound today in a clinching game because he's been that guy all year long. I think he was a guy throughout the offseason kind of monitoring his market. And, with Joe's injury, Musgrove being out, we knew we were a little short on starting pitching side. And, we got to February and, a guy like Pavetta's still out there who our R&D teams talked about for the last few years is a guy that we thought we could take to a different level. And he's become here and been unbelievable, been the ace of the staff. It's great to see him out there.
Can we talk about Manny Machado? I mean, you got to see him reach some career highs this year. This was your first real big signing you brought here, and now for the first time in 19 years, this team is going to back-to-back playoff appearances. This has got to be kind of all coming together. Obviously, there's a big prize at the end that you want to get to, but this has got to feel right now.
Yeah, it can really go around the room and talk about, thought process and where we're at with trades, free agent signings, but obviously bringing Manny here to San Diego, you're bringing a superstar in the prime of his career in a city where kind of people were used to those superstars going out the other way. You've seen it your whole life. To do it where Manny came in, he was kind of that first piece, that foundational piece. We talked about in Havana Harry's and Coral Gables when we were kind of doing our recruiting pitch, myself and Yaine and Manny, this being the norm. And at that time it was a little bit more of a dream and a vision, but Manny bought in, he wanted to be a part of it. Everybody knows he's the guy here, and he's the one that kind of started this whole thing. And to see him year in, year out.
Sounds like Manny has intercepted AJ.
He has indeed. Last one. AJ, you have introduced a portion of Padre fans to some of the best years of Padre baseball. And as I said, I know there's an ultimate goal, but how do you feel? You've been kind of the one spearheading on it. I know you don't like to talk about yourself, but I think you got to on this one.
I know Jesse and you talk about these being the golden years. That was the idea. And I think when Peter Ron sat down with our group in 2016, it was, hey, when we get to 2020, we want to be good year in, year out this decade. It's just fun to bring a lot of joy to the fans of San Diego. We have such a good organization, such a good group. It's great to be a part of it. Got some steps to do now. It's like getting in is the start. Now it's all about trying to win that World Series ring and go put a flag here in San Diego.
Dry up. Enjoy yourself, brother. AJ, this season started off amazingly well, and it kind of had to tread water there in the middle part of the season. You go out, you make the moves to improve this ball club. Is this part of what you envisioned when you went out and made those moves?
Yeah, I think, we played great ball to start the season. Hopefully we start the year and end the year playing our best ball of the year. And yeah, I think the deadline, we needed to round the club out. So we thought we had a team that could get to this point. Probably, knew we needed some reinforcements. Our baseball ops team did a great job. I think seeing Freddie get the big hit tonight was fun to watch. I think it was all part of the puzzle, honestly, just rounding out the team.
Throughout the course of the season, different things had popped up in terms of what you guys needed to add or what you needed to improve. Talk about this coaching staff, because they seem to pull a lot of things out of guys that hadn't reached the potential that we've seen them reach this year.
Yeah, you look at Gavin Sheets that comes here with the opportunity, talking to Schulte, Victor, Mike McCoy's done an unbelievable job with Gavin. You see guys like, at the end of the day, you look at the bullpen piece of David Morgan coming up through the organization, coming right into the mix in the big leagues. Schulte every day. It's every day is to talk about what baseball excellence looks like. It's a teaching class. The group is like, it's a thankless job. They're here at noon every day. They're the last guys to leave. It's a huge part of our success as our coaching staff. And
we go. Tony Gwynn Jr., Chris Ello, Idol, Matt Skraby in the building. Got a little Gwynn versus the fans coming your way here shortly. as we continue to count down for the second
That's a
semifinal
sweet
game.
drill they're doing right there. They're just running. The linemen are backpedaling.
I can 100% see Matt Skraby doing that drill
and
right
falling
there.
right on my butt.
Yeah, we'll continue about 44 minutes till kickoff on the second semifinal game. Ooh, all right.
I don't like this.
John Heyman reporting Phillies and star infielder Bo Bichette have a meeting scheduled for Monday. Feels like
strong mutual interest.
Ooh, they make the Phillies pretty good. They're losing Castellanos. They got Trey Turner.
Where'd he go?
I don't think they're going to re-sign him. He's a free agent.
Oh, he's a free agent. So he's still waiting for a team. Trey Turner. Well, who they signed? Why am I forgetting the big name? They re-signed Kyle Schwarber. That's obviously huge. I don't know.
Yeah,
I wouldn't like that. 311 average last year, 18 home runs, 94 RBIs, and 139 games.
He missed like the last month and a half of the season too.
He came back for the World Series
on one leg.
Yeah,
ball. All right,
he hit that home run in the World Series that got them started, I believe, in Game 7.
Did you? Do we have enough calls? Do we have enough contestants?
I think so.
Oh, well, let's get to it. Gwynn versus the fans right now.
Okay.
If you had one shot, one opportunity to take down the human almanac himself, now is your time.
Listen to me, this guy is dangerous.
Now is your opportunity to win a prize.
Well, I hope you know what you're in for.
Gwynn versus the fans starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
You know, I've had people ask me about this specific open over the years, Tony, and they go, why didn't you get some guy to say Gwynn instead of you saying Gwynn? And I was like, I think it's more funny when I say Gwynn. This is kind of how this show does it. We piece it together a little bit.
It is kind of funny, I will say. At first, I was like, why didn't I get the cool voice?
Yeah.
But yours is kind of funny, too.
Yeah.
I've learned to
love it.
Enjoy it.
Great. All right. K-Law says the is my fave soundbite.
It gives it a little bit of different flavor than Chris's, which I kind of enjoy.
You immediately know what kind of game you're going to be playing now.
Right.
Friendly game, not with Chris, who's going to destroy you and try to take your soul while he's at it. All right, you have to make it through 3 questions. Each question is going to get more difficult. If you get the question right, you move on. If you get the question wrong and Tony gets it right, you're eliminated. But if Tony gets it wrong, then you move on to the next question or you win. If you're a first-time player.
Dang, I usually am like ready.
If you're a first-time player. Thank you. Please let us know before you get into it, and you'll get that first question for free today. You are going to be playing or qualifying for a chance to win the grand prize. 2 tickets to Sammy Hagar at Dolby Live at Park MGM, a 2-night stay at Park MGM Las Vegas, and a $100 gas card. Sammy Hagar returns to Las Vegas, and you can hear him March 11th through the 21st and September 18th through the 26th at Dolby Live at Park MGM. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Also, you will win Aztec tickets for tomorrow. So I'm trying to.
You really built a drama there.
I did. I'm.
Are you looking for something, buddy?
Yes, I'm trying to make sure that it's tomorrow before I got here. Can you talk for a second?
Sure. Grizzlies apparently are open to trading Ja Morant. Under contract through 27-28 season. Deadline is February 5th. This could be a part of, maybe a change of scenery for him. He's been not quite himself here this season, it seems like. You need more time?
Not quite. I don't even know who he is, really.
Oh, stop it.
No, I don't need any more time. It's for Fresno State, against Fresno State, tomorrow night. So at Viejas Arena. Make sure you go get your tickets at goaztecs.com. But if you win here, you will win those as well. All right, let's go to our first contestant and get everything ready to go. Let's go to Jose.
What's up, Jose?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Pretty
Happy
good.
Friday to you, my friend.
Are you ready to play?
I'm ready. Let's go.
All right, here we go. I just talked about this, so I'll ask it. Where did Kyle Schwarber sign in free agency?
Back with the Phillies.
Back with the Phillies is correct. All right, let's go to question number 2. The fans of which MLB team shout out, "Oh!" very loudly while singing the national anthem at games?
Is it the Baltimore Orioles?
Nice job.
Very nice.
I wouldn't have got that. I know Dominic, who's from Baltimore, is on chat.
I'm not. I don't know if I'm a fan of it or not, but I do know that it sticks with you. Once you've heard it, you almost anticipate that it's going to happen no matter what stadium, and it just doesn't work that way. It's only in Baltimore.
Oh, so you're like, wait, you're like, man, that was weak.
It's just once you hear it, you kind of feel like you should hear it all the time.
Yeah, I'm sure other state. I'm thinking there's like at Arrowhead, they say the home of the Chiefs.
Oh yeah, that's another good one.
Or a bad one.
Fine.
Because they're the Chiefs.
Yeah, that's my favorite American League team. Well, I kind of.
Who? Sorry. Which team?
The Orioles.
Orioles. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Orioles.
Well, then you knew.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
too easy for you. All right, Jose, here we go. Question number 3. You get this right or Tony gets it wrong, and you are going to an Aztec game. You're qualified for Las Vegas. Which NFL team had its current name decided by a public competition? Which NFL team had their current name decided by a public competition?
The only team that's had their name changed recently was the Commanders. So I'm going to go with the Commanders.
The Commanders. Fantastic logic, Jose. I don't know if Tony's going to know this. Though.
Unfortunately.
Don't say that.
I happen to have seen this recently.
What?
Yes.
How do you see this recently? I guess they've been
it's-
mentioned a lot.
It has been mentioned a little bit. I'm not quite sure where I heard it, but and it might not even be right. Was it the Seahawks? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Sorry, Jose. I
Close
feel
but
bad
no
for
cigar,
Jose. Yes, it was the Seahawks. I read through all the names that were submitted. Out of like 20,000 names, only 153 said Seahawks. So they're like, this is the winner. There were some ridiculous names that
sure.
received many votes. Many votes.
123 was the highest vote?
Or 53, yeah.
Wow.
One of them was like the Space Needles.
No, that would have been some ugly uniforms. That just sounds like
It just sounds bad. All right, we have to go back to the top and start all over again. Tony's stomping on people's dreams. Let's go to Justin in Encinitas. Hello, Justin.
What's up, Justin?
What's up, guys? How we doing?
Doing fantastic.
Very, very good.
Ready,
All
bro?
right, here we go. Question number 1. Who was the local starting quarterback for the Ohio State Buckeyes this year?
Oh man, this is uncomfortable one as the principal of Lacoste Canyon High School, but that's Julian Stan.
Oh!
I can see why that was uncomfortable.
You know, I remember now. Yes, principal of Lacoste Canyon on the phone right now, and I'm asking him a Carlsbad question. That is Lacoste Canyon on Lacoste Canyon crime. I don't like it. All right.
I can't get a Kevin O'Connell question? Come on.
What school did Kevin O'Connell play for? All right, here we go. Question number 2. What record did NFL kickers shatter during this season?
What record did NFL kickers shatter? Longest field goal?
I will accept because that is true. Longest field goal shattered it. What? Tony's giving me a face over here.
It was Cam Little, right?
He even knows the name of the kicker.
Was that the question though? What was the record that? I guess it was a question.
I guess that
fits.
See, I do a lot of open-ended questions sometimes.
Terrible question. Terribly written question.
Yes. Okay. Fair enough. You notice how I don't fight you, but I'll go back at Chris like, I hate you. Number of 60-yard plus field goals.
There was a bunch of them. But
they also broke the field goal record this
They did.
year. So, Justin, you're still alive. Here we go. Question number 3. Which active quarterback in the playoffs holds the record for the most starts with one college team?
Man, I'll go with Josh Allen.
Oh, Josh Allen. Stay there, Justin.
Read me the question again.
Which active playoff quarterback holds the record for the most starts with one college football team?
Who is in the playoffs? We got Stafford. We got, what's your boy's name? 49ers?
Brock Purdy.
No. Oh, it's got to be like the oldest college football quarterback in the history of the game. Bo Nix.
Oh, I'm sorry, Justin.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I wanted the La Costa Canyon guy to win, Tony.
Good old Bo Nix. Saved your boy.
Please call back Justin.
He was in college for 7 years.
Brandon says 17 years.
Okay. So once I figured out he was in the playoffs, it was no brainer.
54.
Man, nobody could say, hey, he's just not seasoned enough.
No, he's played plenty of football.
He's got a lot of football.
All right, we're going to keep going here with Gwynn versus the fans. Let's go to Dexter.
What's up, Dexter?
Konnichiwa. New Year's, omedetou gozaimasu.
Oh, I like
Genki desu
that.
ka?
Happy New Year.
Thank you, Dexter. All right, I know you've played before, so we're going to go to question number 1. What team did Ole Miss beat in the second round of the CFP?
Oh, the Hurricanes.
Wait. Think about that. What team did
The Miami Hurricanes?
What team did? Okay, I'm sorry. You're so sure of yourself.
The question, I believe, was what team did Ole Miss beat in the second round of the CFP?
Yes.
That would actually be the Georgia Bulldogs.
That is correct. I'm sorry, Dexter. I appreciate your energy when you got on the phone. Try again next time. I was trying to give him an opening.
You did.
He was very sure that Ole Miss beat Miami.
He doubled down on it.
All right, let's go to our next contestant. We're going to go to Neil. Hello, Neil.
Hey, good afternoon, gentlemen. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, Neil.
Here we go. Question number 1. How many numbers are on a dartboard?
Oh.
20.
Correct.
Yeah. That's good. That's a good call.
Have you? Are you a dart guy, Tony?
I can be.
You're not smoking darts, but you're throwing darts.
No, I'm not smoking darts.
Are you good at darts?
I'm decent.
Okay. I mean, you're a baseball player, so I would assume that you have some control.
I'm not great, but I'm decent.
Okay. You're decent.
Decent.
Maybe we'll have to get a
I wouldn't be
dartboard in
embarrassed if I had to play.
Okay. All right. Well, that's pretty good.
That's my standard.
All right. You
Don't
won't be
embarrass
embarrassed.
yourself.
I like this. All right. Question number 2, Neil. Which active player has played the most playoff games? Doesn't mean that they're in the playoffs, but which player active in the NFL right now has played the most playoff games?
Ooh. I'm gonna pass.
Ooh, I didn't think about that.
All right, we made it a point to say that doesn't mean that they're in the playoffs, but they just have to be active. Chiefs have gone quite often.
Yes.
I don't know. I can't remember. I feel like Kelsey got a little bit earlier start than Mahomes in terms of his career. I'm gonna go Kelsey. Travis Kelsey.
I almost gave it away because I rolled my eyes when you went in the Kelsey direction. That was annoying. I'm sorry, Neil. Try again. Man, Tony is mowing people down. I can't wait to tell Chris next week. Tony did so much better at Chris versus the fans than you. Gwynn versus the fans.
It doesn't happen enough.
It doesn't happen enough. All right, tiebreaker. And we're going to go with Travis Kelce for the tiebreaker, just because we just talked about him. So I need to find his stats. Apparently, his stats don't come up right when you click on or type in his name. Sorry, everybody. Just 1 second.
What's going on over there?
The internet is being a pain in the you-know-what today. It's not loading things. I have to reload things. Or remember earlier when we were doing something in the back, we couldn't get one of the videos to work? And the internet's just been a pain in the you-know-what. Let's go to Alex in Delmar.
Hello, Alex.
Hey, good afternoon, guys.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Alex. We're going to play a tiebreaker, which I believe you know how to play. So I'm going to ask Tony for a number about Travis Kelce's career. Tony's going to give me a number, and then Alex is going to guess whether the actual number is higher or lower than what Tony said. So, Tony.
Yes.
How many touchdowns is probably too easy. How many receptions has he had in his career?
How many years
played
has
for
he played?
13.
13, I'm going to say first year probably wasn't a whole lot. I'm going to say somewhere, I'm going to give him an average of about, you said 13?
Mm-hmm.
How many, would you say, receptions?
Receptions.
I'm going to say 12, I'm going to say 1,100.
1,100 receptions. All right, Alex, is the actual answer higher or lower than 1,100?
I'm going to go lower.
You're going to go lower. You are correct. Stay right there, Alex, but Tony was not far off. Actual answer, 1,080. You were 20 off.
I gave him initially a 75 catch per season over 12 seasons because I didn't count the first season.
I mean, that's pretty much
it got
spot
me to
on.
900. I was like, that's a little low. I feel like I know he's gone over 1,000 because I think it was like a big deal when he did it. But yeah, I guess
he had 76 catches this year. That's a lot more than I thought.
How many yards?
851.
Yeah, he almost got to 1,000 too. He was way more productive. What was he the year before?
He was 823, and he had 97 catches.
Yeah, he had that many catches even last year. And here we are saying that he's like over the hill and like can't play no more.
Yeah, his last
That's a pretty good number.
His last really, really great season, 2022, he caught 110 balls, 1,338 yards, and 12 touchdowns.
I mean, that's prime Kelce too.
Oh man, in his prime years, he is a machine. Yeah. He's a first ballot.
All right, we gotta get to break.
I know.
Let's get to break. Some traffic and more Gwynn and Chris on the other side.
From the
Not very often do I put together a performance like that on Gwynn versus the Fans.
You need to go buy a lottery
Matter of fact,
ticket.
very rarely do I put together a performance like that. So I must say, feel pretty good about myself right about now.
Everybody should tweet at Chris LOSD and say Tony just completed the best Chris versus the Fans performance ever.
Oh, I guarantee you guys do that. We will hear about it come Tuesday.
He's going to be
or Monday. We'll hear about it.
He's going to be like, "What? Why is this all coming in right now? I leave for one day and Tony takes over my title."
No, I could never do that.
Don't do that because he'll get upset.
You had something you wanted to cover.
Yes.
We only got a few minutes.
Yeah,
before we go to
I
break.
thought this was fun, but MLB Pipeline polled executives around baseball to give awards out. So, like, best farm system
went to
Dodgers.
Okay.
Dodgers, Mariners, Tigers, Brewers are the top 4. And then you got the Pirates in the top 5. So
The
best
Pirates?
Pirates, best farm system according to other executives.
Okay.
You have who does the best job drafting? Now I was thinking maybe the Padres are going to be up here. They're not even in the mention. Best use of the draft, the Mariners.
Are you going to wait? Was that the same thing as who drafts the best?
Yeah.
Okay. So
I said who drafts the best. It was actually best use of the draft.
okay, best use of the draft.
Which I guess changes who. Yeah. Okay. Best use of the draft. 20% for the Mariners, Cubs, Brewers, Red Sox, Tigers, Dodgers.
I don't know. Couldn't usage of the draft mean trading players that you got out of the
Yes.
draft? I mean,
I
Padres
think
should be
so.
up there. We have put some pretty good talent because of that.
And they're basically saying here's the first line. All 5 of the Mariners first round picks from 2018 have made it to the big leagues. So
Right.
that's what they're. But I think what you're saying is actually more correct with the spirit of the category.
But I mean, that makes sense though. Like, because that can still affect the Padres too, right? You trade a guy, they get to the big leagues, and they weren't in the big leagues. That still counts for, that should still count for your team.
It should.
So
next one, best use of the international market, and Brewers by far and away 37.2%. Which I'm thinking, what?
So I mean, listen, it makes sense. I mean, all their good Cherio, they
Okay,
got.
all right.
I mean, they get
Because
they're-
the Dodgers are number 2 and then the Padres are number 3, and I'm like thinking,
Well, here's the reoccurring theme in all those things you read was the Brewers are in there and the Dodgers are in there as well. The difference is one has the extra income to kind of enhance that. One has to do that right just to be where they are, and that's the Brewers. They got to draft right. The usage of the draft has to be right. Those guys then got to perform. They got to develop, perform, get to the big leagues. Brewers have always done that. I mean, that goes back to even when I got drafted in 2003. They've always developed well.
yes. Yes.
That was well timed.
Thank you.
Well timed, my friend.
Most underrated farm system, Pirates, number 1. Marlins, Cubs, Reds. This is one of my favorite ones. Which team hoards the most prospects? And
who got that one?
The Guardians, by far and away, are the prospect hoarders of the league. 34.1%. The Pirates.
That's what the other GMs are saying about them.
The Pirates are number 2. Then Reds, Brewers, Orioles, Red Sox. You know what you can't say about the Padres? They are not prospect hoarders.
No.
That's pretty much it. Best at developing pitchers, Dodgers, Mets,
Guardians
Mariners.
aren't in there. Padres.
They're 4th.
Oh, Guardians are 4th.
Best developing hitters, Dodgers, Red Sox, Tigers, Brewers.
Agree with that.
Best at finding and developing sleepers, Brewers, Rays, Dodgers, Cubs.
It's interesting the Rays aren't in there very much at all.
The Rays are actually overwhelmingly best at acquiring prospects and trades.
They acquire them. They
57.8% of people vote.
More than half of the people
More
polled.
than half of the people polled said that the Rays are very good at acquiring prospects, which they are.
They are indeed.
But I thought that was fun.
Who did
Padres
that?
didn't really. That was MLB Pipeline.
Okay.
Jonathan Mayo.
Oh yeah. No, I remember. I know Jonathan. All right, let's get to break on the other side. Skraby's Big Five. What do you got? Want to give us a little preview?
Yes, I do. We are going to be talking about Ryan O'Hearn. He was introduced in Pittsburgh, and he said one thing that I want to ask you about. Also, Trinidad Chambliss, the almost hero of the game last night, for Ole Miss. He is no longer playing college football, and I'll tell you why when we get back on 97.3 The Fan.
Ben and Woods on the
Tony Gwynn Jr., Matt Skraby, Chris Ello, idle right now.
Thank you.
Yes. We didn't get that right earlier, but that is the agreement we have made. We were just idle, and Chris is indeed idle. Skraby's got a big 5. He makes the claim that it's pretty good. And
did I?
I mean, you usually do. I don't know that you necessarily did it today, but
today is a slow big 5 day.
So that means he thinks it's trash.
Yep.
AKA.
But you should all stay with us.
Yes, stay.
Because you never know what could happen.
Exactly. All right. Well, we got some traffic, I'm sure.
Not yet. All guests on 97.3 The Fan, join us on the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys helping good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. Also, if you love Mediterranean food, try Spiro's for authentic Mediterranean cuisine in Coronado or La Jolla for dining or takeout options. Visit spiroscuisine.com. My stalling did not work, so traffic will be inside the Big 5. Here we go.
It's that time of the show when we check on the latest in sports. Only the most important topics and questions are brought to light.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
These news stories will astound and amaze you. The one, the only.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
The Big 5 starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, let's get started. And we're going to start with a former Padre for just a short time, Ryan O'Hearn. He is now in Pittsburgh with the Pirates, and he was introduced by the team. You know what? One other thing I think maybe Ryan O'Hearn liked about this process is he's the big fish of this team. And he's the guy who's getting the grand signing where they're holding up his jersey and he's getting all the pictures and stuff like that. So maybe that's part of it that he likes too. But here is what he said about why he made his decision to join the Pirates. Wrong mouse.
Well, first of all, I want to say I couldn't be any more excited to be a Pirate. I love the stadium. I love the city, like what it's about. I was looking, I did my research before I made a decision, and it's a team that's can pitch and just seemed like one or two pieces away from being a legit contender, and that's what I'm here to do. But
so I wanted to stop there. It has nothing to do with Ryan O'Hearn at all.
Word.
But he said that they are like one or two pieces away from being a legit contender. First comment on this tweet, by the way. Yeah, he's failing a drug test. It's just hilarious.
People are just...
They
have no shame.
That's a Pirates fan in the Pirates' feelings. But, Tony, are they just one or two pieces away from being a contender?
I would initially say no.
Thank you.
However...
3 or 4?
However, if a few of the young pups... Now, mind you, they got the young kid, Jared Jones, Mitch Keller coming off of a pretty good one. You obviously got Paul Skeens. They have some pieces there. Now, in order for them to be one or two pieces away, everyone would have to live in their highest selves.
Yeah, I was going to say, are the Padres considered one or two pieces away, or are they considered like there?
There as in contending? They're there.
Okay.
Because that's what Ryan said.
Yes.
One or two pieces away from contending.
Yes, correct. I see what you're saying, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think Ryan certainly will help, but O'Neal Cruz is going to have to turn into what they expected him to turn into. Brian Reynolds got to be the guy that they paid a bunch of money to be. Henry Davis, the first round pick, who got off to a great start, but has kind of disappeared since. There's a reason why they're picked by a lot of their peers of having a good farm system. They got players, but can they be who you think they're going to be at the big league level? So far, the answer is no. But if they are, I can see them being one or two pieces away, but that's a lot of ifs.
That is a lot of ifs. I don't think they're close to contending, but that's just from afar. I think the battle he's going to have to go through is deal with this new or this old owner that he has.
Yeah, I mean that's where the contending pieces thing is interesting, because even if all that's true, your window's tight. Skeens is pre-arb right now.
Yeah.
Jones is pre-arb right now. So your best bet is to take advantage of those before you have to pay them, because what history has showed us is when it's time to pay,
nothing goes the other way. We both rhyme. Yeah, boom.
They won't be in play. I think that's what you're supposed to say when you sign there. And
I'm sure that he actually, did his research. I'm sure he sat down with the ownership and was like, "Hey, are you guys actually serious?"
I will say this: the last 2 years, they've gotten off to respectable starts.
True.
You saw them fade in the second half.
Yeah.
Of 2 seasons ago. I think they were there through a lot of the first half this season, and then they did what they did.
Trevor says, "I think the Reds are closer." I
would agree with that. The Reds are already contenders. They got there last year.
Yeah. All right.
Number 4.
The NCAA denied Trinidad Chambliss, Ole Miss's quarterback, her former quarterback now, a waiver for a sixth year of eligibility, effectively ending his college career. Though Ole Miss will appeal, the decision was expected after a verbal denial in December. He would have been a top returning player for Ole Miss, but now he's projected as a day 3 NFL draft pick, and his playoff performance is boosting his profile. Now, his waiver was based on persistent respiratory issues during his sophomore year at Division II Ferris State, for which the NCAA requested contemporaneous medical notes. So basically, he wanted a medical.
They didn't like the notes they got.
Yeah, or they didn't get notes. I don't know. They basically, what they're saying is he was trying to get a medical red shirt. He could not get a medical red shirt. And so he is now going to be entering the NFL draft, presumably, unless the appeal goes through. Should he be allowed to play a 6th year?
Me?
Yes, me.
Oh.
Yes, because he played in Division II. If they're going to give community college kids extra time, if Pavia, I don't even remember his first name, the guy from Vanderbilt who's trying to get extra time because he played at community college, they should allow him to play. College football is the wild, wild west.
It is.
Carson Beck is in his 7th year of college football. Why just tell this guy no? Just because you can? Just let the guy play. It's better for your sport if he comes back to play for Ole Miss. Anyway, Tony?
Initially, I wanted to say no, because I don't want to see guys in school for 6 years. Just to play sport. But you bring up a good point. They have let some other guys, and I know Carson Beck, I think he tore his knee up.
Yeah, he's had some.
Might have had the elbow.
He had the
John?
brace.
Yeah,
the internal brace. Tommy John.
I mean, I don't know, man. My gut is like, nah. You shouldn't be allowed to keep going back to school 6-7 years. You know what I'm saying? What about the freshmen that are coming in? And I just think there's a trickle down effect of it. But for the time being, they are letting other guys get those extra years.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard for you to explain to me why his respiratory issues were different than, the next guy's, elbow issue.
Yeah, it's very weird. It's very weird. But we'll see if they appeal and get it turned over.
And listen, maybe we don't know all the information. Maybe he was playing in those times. He had the rest. I don't know. I don't know the backstory, but I don't know. It just seems like you should have some consistency on that.
I mean, in a day and age where you can literally go anywhere you want in college sports, it's very strange. But you're right. There are some rules, I guess.
Number 3.
Quarterback DeMond Williams Jr. will return to Washington in 2026.
You don't say.
He announced this last night, like either right before the game or as the kickoff was happening.
His statement or I think I might have read the coach's statement.
Well, Washington put out a statement from the athletic director and the coach saying that we had a
long talk. That's the one I read.
A long talk, and we came to common ground. He really wants to play here at Washington. You don't think the contractual obligation and the lawsuit that was pending?
The fellow Huskies are buying that?
No.
I don't think anyone's buying that.
So he tried to transfer. He reversed it. He signed a $4 million contract with the school. His decision to transfer shocked college sports, and actually, angered a lot of people. Washington and the Big Ten were prepared for legal action to enforce the contract, but he ultimately decided to stay on his own. He wrote on Instagram, quote, "I am fully committed and focused on contributing to what we are building," end quote. Tony, can you be fully committed when you wanted to leave 48 hours earlier?
No.
Thank you.
But real quick, I just thought about Brandon Lau, also with the Pirates, traded from Tampa. Another little nice little piece, just saying.
Okay, 2.5 pieces away.
Give me the question again. Can you be fully committed if what?
When you wanted to leave 48 hours.
It would seem unlikely. It would seem unlikely. I mean, I don't know what could have changed his mind.
The pending lawsuit that was about to happen.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I guess you could change your mind.
Do you think
maybe there are reasons that you changed your mind that got you there?
You kind of already asked this, but do you think his teammates are going to accept him back?
Listen, man, I don't know. A lot of his teammates might be of the same mindset.
True.
And if they're not, maybe it's because they can't be of the same mindset. I don't know.
All I know is
it's hard to predict what this era of athlete feels about this particular thing. Because I would probably guess that a lot of them feel like the same way he does. If you can get it, go get it.
Yeah, it's kind of like,
but maybe not. Maybe
professional
not.
sports a little bit. I mean, it is professional sports at this point with the money being involved. But yeah, he this will not follow him. I don't believe it will follow him for a little bit. And he can,
if he
change
goes
the
out
narrative
and plays well, we won't talk about it at all. If he goes out and struggles, oh boy,
he just did no favors for himself
He's
at all.
opening himself up for some lots of conversations.
Lots of conversations.
Number 2.
Last night, as we briefly mentioned earlier, between the NBA game between the Heat and the Bulls, it was postponed for one of the most bizarre incidents that the NBA has seen, but not to San Diego.
No, we know what bizarre looks like.
The game was officially delayed due to court conditions. The Bulls, we all know, share the United Center with the Blackhawks, and the ice below the court led to condensation, and they had to postpone it. Norman Powell said, San Diegan himself said, honestly, this is the first time I've ever had to deal with that in 11 seasons, which is kind of crazy. It's kind of tough after the first 30 minutes. I think you started kind of like, all right, what are we doing? Then you hear them say another 20 minutes, and then it's like, all right, you really don't want to play, and it's hard to get refocused. You see everybody messing around, joking around. So anyway, they ended up delaying the game after a 2-hour delay. So people had to sit around for 2 hours. There's no real question here, but if anything were to happen to a player, if condensation were on the court, would the NBA be liable for that?
I don't know.
Or is it like a United Center thing?
Probably United Center thing.
Because I know Reggie Bush sued the city of St. Louis.
What's St. Louis?
Because he either tore his ACL or he injured himself really bad.
Yeah.
Because he slipped on concrete that was next to the field, and he won his lawsuit.
He did.
So I would wonder if this would be something on the NBA or the
Pick six!
Oh, Indiana pick 6. Wow.
First play of the game.
Wow. I love it. 14:49 left. Indiana's up 6-0.
11 seconds into the game. Pick 6 touchdown for the Indiana Hoosiers.
Man, this is the destiny year for them. I have a feeling.
It might be.
They're going to be playing Miami. Let's see. All right, last one. And then
Number 1.
I had it. Okay, here it is. Now, here's what John Harbaugh, according to Tony Grossi in Cleveland, ESPN Cleveland, here's what John Harbaugh is requiring teams to meet if they want him to be his next head coach. Tony Grossi from ESPN in Cleveland.
Okay, Tony.
Let me click on his name real quick and see. He's the Browns and NFL insider on 850 ESPN Cleveland, so he might have some knowledge. But it says the demands are $20 million per year, $10 million staff budget, total authority over the roster, and would like to select his own GM. Now, my question, Tony, is...
Oh, Grossi's been the one that's been hard to paint on Shador. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, yes, he is.
Yeah.
He's probably eating his words now. Would you do this if you were a team? If John Harbaugh came to you with these demands, would you give in to those demands?
Yes.
You would pay him everything he wants. You give him the world.
Who else have you done this for as a coach?
Oh, I guess Bill
You
Belichick.
tried to do it to Bill, and Bill was like, on second thought, I'm out. Oh no, they fired Bill, right?
They fired him.
They fired Bill.
They fired him.
Listen, it hasn't gone well for you the way you've been approaching it. At the very least, I would think that John Harbaugh can get the organization at least in the right direction. So yeah, I would do it. It's a fresh start. Yeah, I think you do it.
I don't know that Jimmy Haslam can give up that control.
I don't know that he can either, and he doesn't have to.
Because if I'm John Harbaugh and I say I have total authority over the roster, when Jimmy Haslam walks into my office and is like, "Hey, you need to sign this guy," be like, "Turn around, show him the contract or something."
I don't know
like
if you
that.
tell him to turn around, but you just say,
"Hey, kick rocks."
I definitely don't know if you tell him to kick rocks,
boss.
Either. It's just like, this is not the plan. We can't take this guy.
We can't take this guy.
Yeah, no, that's a good question. I mean, you asked, would I do it?
And you said yes.
I said yes because I think it's the right thing if I'm Cleveland. You bring in a guy like this.
Immediately. You start with a new culture, and you actually provide a pretty big boost for your fan base. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right, let's check some traffic. That's it for the Big Five, and then we'll be right back shortly with you to update you on this college football playoff game.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Plenty of stuff to keep you on your toes this afternoon, guys. Got this stalled vehicle in the center divide, South 805, right before the 8, further down before Imperial. Crash involving a couple vehicles. It's got the HOV lane blocked. Tow truck on scene assisting with that. So this crash on eastbound 8 past the 125. It's the center divide. Also, eastbound King Freeway reports of a crash near 32nd Street. Hit and run accident. It's over the right shoulder. Got this collision on eastbound 54 at the south 125 connector. North 5 Coastline. Accident near Loma Santa Fe. In the clearing stage over the right shoulder. And still clearing an accident West 78 at the southbound 5 connector. I'm Kelly Danick with Gwynn and Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right. Indiana up 7-0. Oregon with the ball back. These games have been pretty good for the most part, except for the first round games. The college football playoff has delivered.
First round games might have set the non-power Power 4 teams back a little bit.
Yeah, they're never going to be involved again.
They're gonna try. They're gonna do their best to get them up out of here.
I liked watching James Madison because they could at least move the ball.
Yeah,
but
what was the other team?
Don't even remember at this point.
Chad, help us out.
Chad, help us out.
I can't remember who the other team was, but it was not pretty at all.
It
was North Texas. Was it? No, not North Texas.
Tulane.
Tulane. I knew it was a green
that was
team.
a blowout.
Blew out.
Yeah. That was a blowout.
They got blown out.
They got blown out. Brandon, thank you in the chat. Tulane was the answer.
All right. Let's roll the break. On the other side, happy hour. I am going to be out. I am headed to daughter's game. We do have a 520 segment on projections, Padre projections.
Yes, we took care
of it. Was it Zip, right?
It was Fangraphs Steamer.
Not Zip. I don't know where Zip.
You have to pay for Zips.
Okay. Well, that's probably why I saw it.
Yeah,
because I have the Fangraphs.
Okay, good to know. Honestly,
okay. Yeah. No, I'll make sure I pass that along. Happy hour on the way. More Gwynn and Chris.
For at least the next little bit, it is the Skraby Show. I'm actually filling in for Gwynn and Chris. Tony and I did do something before the show. We're going to go through some of the Padres projections for 2026 and see if we agree with them, see if they are suitable, see if they're projections that will produce a winning team. So that will be in about 20 minutes. We also have the biggest fan to give away at like 5:35. So the college football playoff game started off first play of the game, pick 6 for Indiana. They went up 7-0. I don't believe anything else has happened yet. Oregon was trying to drive down the field, but Indiana looks fired up, and they look slightly like a team of destiny with their 14-0 record that they got. We were watching during a break some of the coverage of it, and all the players are making fun of Indiana's head coach Curt Cignetti because he has like this eyebrow that just is always up in the air, and it's always like looking at you. And all the players do the eyebrow, which I thought was really, really funny. But you should go look up Curt Cignetti's eyebrow. But we'll just go through some of the news of the day so far. And right before the show, I think the biggest story of the day for San Diego, at least, is that San Diego FC said today that they were working on the exit of Mexico star Chucky Lozano after just one season with the club. They said, we have communicated with Irving and his representatives that he will not be a part of the sporting plans moving forward. That was from Tyler Heaps, the sporting director of SDFC. He said, we're working with him and his representatives to find the best solution and the best environment for him moving forward. He was signed. He's the 5th highest earner in Major League Soccer last year with guaranteed pay of $7.6 million, apparently making transfer potentially difficult. Heaps said they're open to anything right now, and they believe that a sale of Lozano is the best for all parties. They could do a loan, but they'd rather do a sale. Long story short, I believe whatever happened last year at this point, but whatever happened at the end of the SDFC season last year with Chucky getting into that confrontation with someone, we don't really know much of what happened inside the locker room, but it seems like it didn't ever get better. So they're looking to move on from Chucky, and it's unfortunate that it didn't work out because it seemed like he liked being here in San Diego. But in the end, it was a verbal altercation in the locker room after a couple matches, and they ended up punishing him. And I guess we shouldn't be surprised that this is the result, but it doesn't look like Chucky Lozano will be playing for SDFC anymore. Earlier, I asked people on the chat if this was a big deal, little deal, or no deal, and I got nothing from anyone, which usually I get some response, which tells me I guess this is a no deal. I, obviously am not the soccer expert of the station, but Chucky Lozano, it seems to me like Anders Dreyer was more important than Chucky Lozano, and Chucky Lozano was also hurt this year, so he didn't get as much playing time. But whatever happened to the team in that locker room verbal altercation between Chucky Lozano and someone else, it is tearing the team apart. But actually, I think it's a better thing for the team because now they know that they can move on from Chucky Lozano and they can get the good vibes back in their locker room. Tony and I saw a picture last week or earlier this week of some of the players already back and practicing and getting ready for the season. So that is a short off season. Renee says maybe World Cup, maybe, but I don't think that would mean that he would have to leave the team unless he just didn't want to play for the team anymore. And anything, honestly, that I'm going to say is speculation because we really don't have any idea as to why the relationship with Chucky Lozano went bad. And it did. So there you go. They're going to try to sell him. They might loan him, but they want to have a sale, is what I guess they're saying. They just want to be done with it. They want to cut ties. They want to be done. If you don't know, we're broadcasting live from the Bill House Studios. We know how, and we started the show with an article from Dennis Lin, and we talked about AJ Casvel's article earlier this week of kind of some of the holes that they have and that the Padres need to fill. Dennis Lin wrote about in The Athletic, he wrote about some of the other questions, like why hasn't AJ Preller been extended yet? And there's a complicating factor, according to Dennis Lin, that in 2024, Eric Grupner was extended through at least the 2029 season. And would AJ Preller want at least a contract that goes until 2029? Stammen's deal goes through 2028. So maybe AJ Preller wants at least to get to that 2029 because it's an Eric Grupner and AJ Preller creation, the party every night that happens at Petco Park. So I believe that they both have a hand in what's happening down there, and I think that AJ should be extended as long as Eric Grupner is, because they should be I can't say a package deal because they have different jobs within the organization, but it would, if I'm AJ Preller, I want to stay as long as I can. And so I would want a deal that lines me up with the CEO, because you know that come contract negotiation time, most likely the CEO is not going anywhere unless something crazy happens. So I would want to be involved until then. And we don't know what is being offered to AJ. We don't know what AJ's asking. So really, this is another Chucky Lozano situation where things have been so quiet from this and no news has happened in a little bit. I believe that there's some holdup, there's some disagreement, but obviously those disagreements, they can figure it out, they could come to terms, and we could all forget about this. It is slightly interesting that we started talking about AJ Preller in the news that he was being, or they were talking about extending him all the way back when the season ended, and we're still here today, and we haven't actually had official news in quite some time. So if I believe AJ Caswell said earlier this week, if they get to the season and he doesn't have an extension, then it's time to worry. But up until then, we have to just deal with it. Next one, Dennis Lin was talking about how much starting pitching do the Padres still need. And Tony and I went through this. We talked about, the four guys in the rotation already: Nick Pivetta, Michael King, Joe Musgrove, Randy Vasquez. You also need a fifth starter. So the answer is probably yes. They need more starting pitching, starting pitching. And then another question that I've been asking on the Skraby show is, who's going to play first base? And according to Dennis Lin, it doesn't seem likely that Luis Arraez is coming back. That's what I'm reading. So if that isn't going to happen, then what direction do they go? I personally really wanted Ryan O'Hearn to come back. And for the price that he had, or he signed for, 2 years, $29 million, I think that's an affordable deal for the Padres. But they don't have anyone to play first base right now. The first baseman is Gavin Sheets. And you can put Jake Cronenworth at first base, but then who are you going to put at second base? So they do need to figure out what's going on here with first base. That's the left field of last year. Last year was always, what are we going to do in left field? No one's playing left field, blah, 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 blah. And they found someone to play left field, and they got through it okay. So I'm assuming that they're going to get through it okay again. But here's that part about Luis Arraez that makes me sad. League sources continue to indicate a reunion with Luis Arraez is unlikely because of his defensive limitations and lack of power. The three-time batting champion was never an ideal roster fit. So if it was never an ideal roster fit, then why did they trade for him in the first place? It's hard to disagree with Dennis Lin. He knows more baseball than I do, but it doesn't seem like when he came to the team, he was a roster fit. But I guess in some people's minds, he was not. And last year, we saw some of the limitations, defensive limitations, lack of power, lack of walks, and things like that. And so I guess I can understand why the Padres want to stay away. But I still think he fits right in. I still think he fits into this team, and at least I know Luis Arraez probably wants a longer deal, but at least for the short term, he could play first base for the Padres. Last one is, how much spending room is left? And we asked this question. We all don't know. But according to Dennis Lin, the Padres seemingly considered attempting to sign both Michael King and Merrill Kelly. Merrill Kelly ended up going to the Arizona Diamondbacks and signed a 2-year, $40 million deal. But this gives me a little bit of an indication that there is some money there for the Padres to spend. They signed King for $75 million over 3 years. So let's just go. I guess we'll just go with the next year value, which is $25 million for King and then $20 million for Merrill Kelly. So that's $45 total million. And if they're able to sign both of those guys, if they were to do that in succession, then, or even if this report has some truth to it, it makes me feel a little bit better about the money situation with the Padres and the potential sale and all of that. And if they were able to think about spending $40 million on a player, let's just say they matched the offer, or at least came close to the offer, that means they have some money. They have some money, and that's a good feeling. Because, throughout the break, I was thinking about how they're going to build this team, and I'm like, if they don't get any more money, this team is going to struggle because they still need to add around the fringes. And you could do that, and you could do that cheap, but you also are going to have to go out there and pay a little bit more money on someone else, because you can't just rely on signing someone and hoping. You want to go out there, you want to get a guy that's going to produce for you, and he's going to produce for you. And with a little bit more money, there's a little bit more wiggle room, and that does make me feel better. So thank you to Dennis Lin for writing the article in The Athletic. You should go check it out if you haven't checked it out. The national championship, the college football playoff semifinal, Oregon went down the field after throwing that pick six, and they scored. So it's 7-7. Indiana now driving on Oregon's side of the field in the first quarter. So I'll keep you up to date on that. But when we get back, Tony and I went through the projections from Fangraphs for Padres players in 2026, and we'll talk about whether we agree with them or if we want the players to do more, if the projections are enough. All of that is next on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 8-5.
These things, it even tells you, hey, there's a canyon over here, don't hit it here.
Skraby from about 45 feet. His caddy tells him to play it a little to the right. He's been playing well so far today. Fourth hole, nice smooth delivery, hit it too hard.
Sasquatch.
So Chris says that he can't play golf, but this is the second birdie putt he's made for us. This time it was like 20 feet.
Thank you very much, Greg. But once again, you're hitting some very nice shots as well. I'm not usually complimentary to you, but can't help but be complimentary. Your shot making today.
With my what?
Your shot making. You hit some.
things. It even tells you, hey, there's a canyon over here. Don't hit it here.
Skraby from about 45 feet. His caddy tells him to play it a little to the right. He's been playing well so far today. Fourth hole. Nice smooth delivery. Hit it too hard.
Sasquatch.
So Chris says that he can't play golf, but this is the second birdie putt he's made for us. This time it was like 20 feet.
Thank you very much, Greg. But once again, you're hitting some very nice shots as well. I'm not usually complimentary to you, but can't help but be complimentary. Your shot making today.
With my what?
Your shot making. You hit some.
These things. It even tells you, hey, there's a canyon over here. Don't hit it here.
Skraby from about 45 feet. His caddy tells him to play it a little to the right. He's been playing well so far today. Fourth hole. Nice smooth delivery. Hit it too hard.
Sasquatch.
So Chris says that he can't play golf, but this is the second birdie putt he's made for us. This time it was like 20 feet.
Thank you very much, Greg. But once again, you're hitting some very nice shots as well. I'm not usually complimentary to you, but can't help but be complimentary. Your shot making today.
With my what?
Your shot making. You hit some.
These things. It even tells you, hey, there's a canyon over here. Don't hit it here.
Skraby from about 45 feet. His caddy tells him to play it a little to the right. He's been playing well so far today. Fourth hole. Nice smooth delivery. Hit it too hard.
Sasquatch.
So Chris says that he can't play golf, but this is the second birdie putt.
Indeed, into the 5 o'clock hour, the happy hour, as we like to call it. Tony Gwynn Jr., Matt Skraby, Chris Ello on his way to where are they going?
Utah State.
Utah State.
Or Utah somewhere. He was very concerned last night when he left. After you left, he was like, if anything breaking happens, just give me a call. It's like, Chris, it's okay.
You're done,
traveling.
buddy. You're done.
You're traveling, bro.
Nonetheless, we try to finish off the show here. Skrabe, you got a little baseball for us. It's a little prediction.
Yes. I saw Fangraphs posted the depth chart for the Padres and their current projections and everything. And funny note about that, Xander Bogaerts is 3.3. Not sure what that means. Manny Machado is 3.2. So they're saying that Xander Bogaerts is going to be slightly better than Manny Machado this year.
And this is who
this
is they?
The Zimborski Zips.
Okay.
From Fangraphs.
Okay.
Yes. So I went to the standard stats to make it easy on us to figure this one out. And so I went and just pulled the main players. Now, who do you think they projected to have the most home runs?
Real quick, the article in which you are talking about is specifically about the Padres.
It's about the Padres. He did one for each team.
The Padres are real contenders, but the rotation is on an iffy ground, according to Dan Zimborski.
Yeah, Zimborski. I think it's Zimborski.
Yeah,
anyway, who do you think they projected to have the most home runs?
Toddy.
You're right. That one was easy. They're projecting him to have 30 home runs. They're projecting him to hit 275 and drive in 78 guys. I guess that means they're putting him at the leadoff.
Leadoff again.
Yeah, I guess he's putting him at the leadoff. Do you think that he's going to be leadoff this year?
I don't know. Stam, probably, who has watched quite a bit of this team, probably has his own ideas where he could see Toddy fitting in. He might leave him there. He might move him. I mean, it probably is contingent on you having somebody to be in that spot.
Yeah.
Is there somebody in the team right now that you want there?
I don't know. What about Ramon Laureano? We've thrown that out there.
I don't know. He's got some sock, man.
Yeah, he does.
I don't know if you want to put him up there.
And I have a feeling that Luis Arraez is going to come back.
So let's just talk about what we have right now. Yeah.
I don't think there's another leadoff hitter on the team right now.
Yeah.
They also predict him to steal the most bases on the team with 24, and his walks at 67, which would be down. So I don't know if they're quite recognizing the real Fernando, the new Fernando.
We'll see. That's the beauty of it.
Yes. Manny Machado, 26 home runs, 268 batting average. This is pretty easy, actually. I could predict this because he literally does the same thing every single year. 85 RBIs and, like I said, 268 average. I would like to see more home runs for Manny. 26 seems a little light. I need him to be up at the 29, 30.
I just want to see more stakes. 85.
85 needs to be 100.
And, again, that's if he's hitting 265, I could see that being higher contingent, especially if Toddy is hitting 275 with 30 of his own.
Yeah. That would help out a lot.
He's going to be on base, I would assume.
Now, the Jackson Merrill one I was very excited about. And by the way, they projected these guys through only 134 games.
You've seen Jackson stroke here this offseason?
I have not. Is it looking great?
It's looking quite nice.
Oh, that makes me excited. 23 home runs for Jackson Merrill. They're projecting 77 RBIs, 269 batting average for him with 29 doubles.
Huh?
Yeah.
How many homers?
23, which is about right, probably.
I think he's going to hit higher than 260.
Yeah, I would say 269 seems a little bit low for what Jackson's done in the past.
I think he's going to get better. He's going to get better at managing the zone. Going to not when, especially when he already gets into those grooves where he doesn't miss his pitch.
Yeah,
and if he's just laying off some of the bull junk that's out there that they throw him,
the high fastball,
man, he's going to be nice. Or he learns how to get to that on a consistent basis. One of the two.
Do you in the off season, as a baseball player, go and just see high fastballs all off season?
No, you don't do it all off season, but you definitely address it,
and work.
You try to work at it for sure.
The next one, this one is surprising. Xander, well, maybe not surprising, but Xander Bogaerts, they're thinking, is returning to form. 270 batting average, 13 home runs, 57 RBIs, and 24 doubles with 14 stolen bases. And he was a base stealing machine last year.
Nobody would mind that. I mean,
No.
I think that is always. I think that's the hope, is that he can kind of get back to playing at the level that he had become accustomed to
He
playing.
certainly looked like he was doing that at the end of the year.
And I should say he gets that he's gotten to that point at some point in the season the last 2 years.
Yeah.
3 years. But we would like to see it like full season.
Yes, full season. We need full season Xander. Ramon Laureano, 243 batting average, 17 home runs, 57 RBIs.
So they don't believe it. They don't
believe it.
They don't think what we saw last year for a whole season was the real Ramon Laureano.
He's had 2 years in his career where he's been like he was last year, and the rest of the years around those numbers. So maybe happy medium somewhere. Maybe 20 home runs. And
I think he can put up
batting.
I think he can put up a similar year. I do.
All right.
I think he's capable of it.
Gavin Sheets, 244 batting average. Now this is disappointing. 14 home runs for Gavin Sheets. 54 RBIs for him.
Yeah,
I think he's got to have 20.
That may also be because they don't think he's going to be in there every day.
That's true. They gave him 407 at bats. Everybody's in the 500s.
Yeah, it's not, you give him 100 more at bats, you get a different projection, I think.
Yeah, well, yeah, you definitely get a couple more home runs. But I hope that he hits more than 14 home runs. That means that he's playing a lot. Jake Cronenworth, 236, 13 homers. 56 RBIs for Jake Cronenworth. 236 is not going to get it done.
I don't know. He's going to hit 236. We'll see.
Yeah, 236 is not something I'm interested in. It doesn't really matter, but it's not something I'm interested in. I think Jake Cronenworth has been maligned a little bit because I think
by who?
Fans.
Oh yeah.
I think he's had better seasons than we give him credit for, and it's hard to see his better seasons because he's not hitting 25 home runs, 30 home runs. He does it throughout the year, and I think we give him too hard a time. I know what you say.
I don't know what kind of time you guys give him, but I think if you watch him on a daily basis, there are a lot of things he does that you just don't show up on a stat sheet. And I know that's hard for some people to quite understand because there's not a statistic for it.
But it's the truth.
It is.
It's the truth. Chris always says, how can this guy be the negative defense war? Blah, 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 blah. I've seen this guy. I've seen him.
That's my opinion on it.
You're probably right. But Jake Cronenworth, if he hits 250 to 265, I think that's perfect.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I've done a lot of number crunching.
260 to 265.
250 to 265.
250. Okay.
Giving him a little bit of leeway. Freddie Fermin, 249, 10 home runs, 42 RBIs. I think that would be acceptable.
I saw Freddie swinging too. I saw him. He had posted some video of himself. I don't know if he posted it or if someone posted it of him watching him hit, but he's got to get ready, man. It's tick, 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 tick.
It is. This is going to be starting before we know it. Luis Campusano, they gave him 80 games, 10 homers, 37 RBIs, 247 batting average. We'll see about that. Sung Moon Song. Ooh, yeah, never mind. 86 games.
What was that?
I don't know. My brain went crazy for a second, and I had to rein it back in. It's Friday at 5:25 or something, so we are close to the weekend. 248 for Sung Moon Song, 7 home runs, 33 RBIs, 8 stolen bases in 86 games. I don't know how much he's going to play, so I don't have any numbers to crunch there.
Yeah.
There's no analysis until we see it.
100%. Like you just don't know.
Did I get everyone? Yeah, I did. So there's the Fangraphs steamer projections, which I'm not a fan of the word steamer. It makes me think of something else, but hey, I like looking at projections. I told you 5:30 almost in the Friday.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, I don't know that they're gonna believe that it's 5:30, considering that there's light in the window behind you on our screen. That you're gonna get a lot of.
Oh yes, yes. Yes, we're actually doing this in Hawaii, Tony.
Exactly.
We went to Hawaii this morning. Didn't you remember that?
Nonetheless, let's get to break. On the other side, you'll get the last bit of happy hour here on Gwynn and Chris. Interview of the week.
Ben and Woods on the Fan.
Coming up Monday, stories from the first couple of days of Padres fantasy camp. We're live in Arizona.
And maybe some stories of debauchery.
Listen to Ben and
Hello, everyone. Welcome back into the Bill House Studios. We know how here on 97.3 The Fan. Final segment of the week. I feel like vacation, which was just a week ago, I feel like it was like a month ago at this point. But we are back in the groove, everybody. We're going to hear from Jesse Agler here in just a second. Jesse was on earlier with us. If you don't know, Jesse is an alum of the University of Miami, and he went to the game last night with his son in Phoenix and saw his Miami Hurricanes win and move on to the national championship. So we caught up with him on about that. And then we also talked to him about the return of Michael King, and he had a really good answer about the return of Michael King. So stick around for that. But right now we have our biggest fan. I'm a little bit late on it. I'm sorry, but here it is. Congratulations to today's biggest fan, Caitlin Forte of Chula Vista. Give us a call within the next 10 minutes at 833-288-0973, and you'll qualify for our grand prize. 20 tickets for you and your friends for a night in our Odyssey Suite at a Padres game with all of the fan staff later this season, catered by Spiro's Mediterranean Cuisine. Remember to register your name at 973thefan.sd.com/biggest fan. Caitlin Forte of Chula Vista, 833-288-0973. Your time starts now. I'm sorry to the peeps on the chat. They have been waiting for their name to be called. So if Adam's listening, please go in there and find a way to put Renee on this list. Please. Because Renee listens every single day, and her name has not been called, and she has been trying to win, or at least qualify. So, Adam Klug, if you're listening, find a way to put Renee on the list. Indiana, while right after I said that they were tied 7-7, they went up 14-7, and it looks like, oh wow, they just picked up a fumble near the end zone of Oregon, and the quarterback threw it and it fell out of his hand. It just slipped out of his hand. That is crazy. Anyway, Indiana's up 14-7 in the second quarter with I think they're on like the 3-yard line, 2-yard line, ready to score 3-yard line. So Indiana could be going up 21-7 here. And the quarterback of the Ducks, Moore, he has thrown a pick six and he has fumbled in his own 5-yard line. That is not a great day. That is not a great day at all. All right, we do have Jesse Agler. Let me see. Do I have any other housekeeping? I don't have any other housekeeping. Actually, you know what? I do have some housekeeping. I just remembered. I saw this on Twitter while in the break, and it answers some of our questions about whether or not the Padres and the Mets were going to trade. But from this account, Mets Muse, it says talks between the Mets and Padres surrounding all-star closer Mason Miller never really went anywhere, per John Heyman. A potential blockbuster trade could have involved Pivetta, Laureano, Morihone, and Estrada, but the Padres were looking for an overwhelming return. So there you go. Basically what we said the entire time. We don't believe it. We don't believe these talks. I don't believe anything from the rumor world until they actually are announced by the team itself. But it's good to know that the Padres are asking for an overwhelming return. I'd rather them ask for an overwhelming return. So again, that trade talk between Mason Miller, Padres, Mets, it never really went anywhere, according to John Heyman. Indiana did indeed score. They're up 20-7. We got some traffic, and then Jesse Agler.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
The lanes have reopened. North and south on 5 transition to the Coronado Bridge. Police have wrapped up their activities, so definitely some good news for anyone heading over to the island. North on 163 near the Laurel Street Bridge, there is a collision involving a motorcycle. Everything's over to the right shoulder. And traveling on eastbound King Freeway, accident has cleared just before 32nd Street. South on the 15 before Adams Avenue, there is a stalled vehicle being moved over to the right shoulder. Westbound 8 before the 805, collision over to the right shoulder. And Kelly Danick with Gwynn and Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
graduated from the University of Miami, and he got to go to the semifinal matchup last night. I got to say, Jess, when I saw the first photo, I stared at it for like 10 minutes. I was like, is he not? He's no way he's there. He's not there. And then as I text you, you eventually got back and said that you and Jonah were both there. How were you planning this the whole time? Like if they got to this point?
Yeah, when they were announced that they were in the playoff, I got the emails immediately from the school about get your tickets, and they had the prices listed for each round, and I was like, well, I'm not gonna fly to Dallas for the second round. I was like, that kind of feels unreasonable. I was like, but they're gonna be in Phoenix, third round. It wasn't cheap, but it wasn't like ridiculous. I was like, all right, I'll put a deposit down on that, and you get it back if they don't make that round. And I didn't necessarily think that they were gonna get that far, so I did that, and I was looking at the national championship game. Of course, it's back, in Miami, and the prices for that were exorbitant. So I was like, all right, I'll like make the semifinal the plan. I can drive over. It's during winter break, so I'll bring Jonah. And so yeah, that was the idea. Maybe they surprised me a little bit by getting that far, by beating Texas A&M and beating Ohio State, but that's a pleasant surprise. And man, it was awesome. Like that's the first time I've been to a Miami football game as a fan since I moved to San Diego. 13 years ago or whatever it is now. So it was cool. It was worth the wait. That's for sure.
It was a terrific game, first and foremost. And I was feeling every moment with you as the game was going along. I knew exactly how you were feeling. You took Jonah with you, took your son with you. Tell us what that was like. Well, from what I know, Jonah's hasn't been super interested in the sport. So the fact that you got him there, I was super pumped for you.
Yeah, it was cool. He's definitely not like the world's biggest sports fan. He has he's very smart. He's like got this intellectual curiosity about sports more than like a fan interest, if that makes sense.
Right.
So like, I'm trying to get him into it, and he's like on a website on my phone, like reading the rules of football. Like that's kind of like, that's what he's up to. But, this was his first football game. It was tough because everybody stood the entire time.
Right.
And he's 9.
Right.
And he's a tall 9-year-old, but he's still 9. And there's a 50-year-old man in front of him. So he couldn't see the field.
Okay.
So and like he didn't want to stand on his seat, and like so he had a hard time kind of seeing everything. So it was maybe not like the best experience from that standpoint for him for like watching the game, but I think being in that environment was eye-opening to him. We had a lot of talk about when cursing is and is not appropriate after the fact. Because it's a big football game. Like it's nonstop the entire time. And, we were in the Miami section, kind of in the corner of the end zone there. So like, anytime anything good happened for the Canes, everybody around us who he had never met in his life until, an hour before, they're high-fiving and he's looking at me like, am I allowed to high-five these people? It was like, it's all that kind of stuff. So it was cool, kind of having that experience. My wife asked me when we got home like 20 minutes ago, she's like, do you think he's going to be like a big football fan now? I was like, no, I think we went backwards on that. But like, nonetheless, it was awesome and something I know I will, forever cherish. And the rest of the trip, he had a great time. They had a cool like robotic froyo machine at the stadium. That was kind of like a highlight for him. So, hopefully he remembers those things and it's all kind of a big happy memory.
So you've already taken away one of my questions, which was, will you be heading to the national championship? If it's an exorbitant amount, I don't expect you to be headed to Miami. In terms of the game itself, I know you were a little uneasy with some of the mistakes that the University of Miami was making. But I don't know. From watching it on television, they seem like the more physical team from start to finish, and they just seemed like the better team, quite frankly, from start to finish. At least that's how it played out on television.
Yeah. No, I don't think there's any doubt. And I mean, like, you watch enough sports in your life, right? And you just sometimes you get that bad feeling. You're making a lot of mistakes. You're letting the other team hang around. Usually you end up paying a price for that. We see it in baseball. You and I talk about it 25 times a year probably in the regular season. You let a team hang around when you shouldn't. Generally, you're not going to get the result you want. And so, it was going through my head the whole game. I was like, we might be 15 mistakes better than Ole Miss, but we're not 20 mistakes better than Ole Miss. And like it felt like they made 20. I mean, there were 2 dropped pick sixes, a couple missed wide open, probably would have been touchdown throws.
Yeah.
Other drops, with the receiving core, the busted play, the missed field goal, all that. It's kind of like, oh man, like the penalties. And like they made more mistakes in that game than they made probably in the previous 6 games put together. And it was like, usually you get this deep into a playoff run or deep into an important game. yeah, you're not going to get away with that. But I think that goes to just how much better they were. And the cool thing, you mentioned this, like, not to get two X's and O's, but like, they are a physical football team, both sides.
Yeah.
And, that still wins in 2026, which is cool because, I think a lot of people, sort of, you had the analytics revolution in baseball that we talk a lot about on the broadcast, and, kind of how maybe that had gone too far, with some things. I think you had a similar thing play out in football. And, that they're a really good reminder that if you have a dominant line, one or the other, or both, as I think is the case with them, you're still going to win some football games.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch, I think.
You're going to be in position for sure to win some of those football
Yeah.
games. Jesse Agler joins us here, my partner, voice of the San Diego Padres. Was it as intense in the building as it seemed on TV? There were times where it felt like you could like cut the tension with a knife through the television screen.
From moment one. I mean, it was like, first of all, like walking in, this is a little bit like, maybe TMI personal, but like walking in, like I grew up in South Florida. I went to the University of Miami. So like in my life, I'd always taken for granted that like you're going to be surrounded by people who are fans of this team. You go to the games or whatever. And like I've been here on the West Coast for, since 2014, 12 years. And like walking in yesterday and like seeing all these people in Miami shirts, I was like, oh man, like I kind of like chilled. Like it was just weird. I was like, I haven't experienced this in so long. It was kind of a weird, moment of like feeling something that I hadn't felt in a long time. And then like from the time we got into the stadium about an hour before kickoff, and I mean, the place was pretty much like packed. Everybody was pretty much in their seats like an hour out. And like both sides, the Ole Miss side, the Miami side. And it was just like, everybody knew A, how big of a game it was. And everybody knew B, it was probably going to be a close game. Like nobody, I think on either side was like, yeah, we're going to run away with this. And it certainly played out that way. And I mean, it was intense. It was like every mistake felt like a dagger to the heart. And as I said, there were a lot of them. Like it was wild, man. Like I get the reputation, and it's well earned, I think, when it comes to Padre talk, right? I'm like, and you too, like very even keeled, very intellectual more than emotional, right? Like that's kind of our niche. You and I have like carved out. We're going to be like the sensible people when it comes to the Padres. You've seen me watch Miami football. It ain't that. And so you can imagine, like last night, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like
were you able to go to sleep after that game last night? Like, was it hard to fall asleep?
Oh, I was up. First of all, it took like, it's an 11-minute drive with no traffic back to where we were staying. It took an hour because of the traffic coming out. And then I was up when we got back to the hotel. I was up for like another 2.5 hours, like just like as if I had 30 cups of coffee.
That's great. Jesse Agler joins us here on Gwynn and Chris. I got to get some of these baseball questions in because we haven't really talked. Padres were able to bring back Michael King. Obviously, that was a piece that you kind of needed. You were already going to miss out on one of your big pitchers that left already in Dylan Cease. How big of a signing, obviously, was this for the Padres?
I mean, it felt to me like it was critical, and it was, how the rumor mill works, right? What was it, a week before that? You saw, the John Boy or whoever had a poster like, oh, the finalists for Michael King are the Orioles and the Yankees and the Mets, maybe, I don't remember, some other East Coast team.
Wasn't the Padres, I know that.
Yeah, it wasn't that, that's right. And then next thing you knew, AJ did his thing. And, I think, we were at the Michael King press conference and clearly this place has come to mean something deep to Michael King, not only to Michael King, but to his lovely wife, Sheila, their newborn, to his parents, to his family. Like, and I relate to this, you come here and it feels like the farthest place in the world from where you're from. And it feels so right. It feels so much like home. And he clearly has that. And I think, that just adds to the value that you're getting. And it allowed you to kind of bring back somebody that is so critical to your on-field thing. And, I talked to both Michael and AJ about it that day. Like, this was not the case with the Padres all that long ago. We're like, it's that kind of free agent destination. And so what, ownership and the business side in terms of attendance and marketing and everything that we've created here, and obviously the baseball side, have manufactured in San Diego, it has completely changed the way free agents view the San Diego Padres. And it is now a top list, a bullet point #1 destination for guys, whether they played here or not. And that's something we should probably step back and appreciate a little more often. Not that I got to tell you, but like that wasn't the case for a lot of years.
I think it's just something that kind of just flies under the radar, right? Because every offseason, AJ is right squarely in the mix of things. But it's important to remember that wasn't all that easy before. You couldn't even get in the door sometimes to talk to some of these free agents now.
And I know people don't want to like go crazy on like the Eric Hosmer talk, but like it when you write the book on this era of Padre baseball, that's chapter 1. That's chapter 1.
Yep.
And getting a guy who was looked at the way he was looked at by other players, you forget everything else. The way he was looked at by other players, he had the ultimate respect after the World Series in Kansas City and what he had accomplished there, and the way he came up with that group of guys there. The guys around the league saw Eric Hosmer as a dude, okay? And so when a dude signed here, that raised some eyebrows, that turned some heads, and that kind of got the ball rolling on the whole thing. It's incredible.
There's no doubt. All right, we about 32 days before pitchers and catchers report. How ready are you to get this thing rolling again?
I'll be ready, baby. No, I'm pumped, man. Like, it's I don't know if it's the same for you, but like, for me, the second the season ends, there's like a little bit of like oh my gosh, I can breathe. You're upset about the way it ended this year, certainly, but it's like, okay, like I know I can go to the gym and like take my kids to school every day now. And then for me, like by Thanksgiving, I'm like, I'm like an addict. I'm like scratching my arm. I'm like, I need some baseball. And then the holidays come, and that's kind of a good distraction. And
exactly.
It's family time. But January 1st, it's like, all right, man, let's go. Like, kind of tapping the foot a little bit. Like, let's get this thing going. So the Canes football team has given me a nice, sporting outlet, I guess. And they got one more, thankfully, 10 days from now. But I'm ready to go. I stayed in Peoria the last 2 nights for the football game, so I got a little bit of like a
taste already.
Yeah. I went in. I went into the office. I saw Todd and everybody, so I'm fully ready to go. As I'm sure you are.
Yep, indeed. Jesse,
thank you so much to Jesse Agler for joining us. That was awesome. That must have been incredible to be there to see his college win the semifinal game. Now they're in the final back at home in Miami. Thanks to everyone who joined us this week. Appreciate you all. We are going to be back on Monday. There's no Skraby Show tonight. New Skraby Show schedule in the off season, Monday through Thursday, 6 to 7 p.m. But we will be previewing the Monday Night Football game. Oh, yeah, Texans and Steelers. Texans and Steelers will be on Monday night. But I hope everybody has a great weekend. Be safe. Daily gripe for Rod is I cannot stand it when I lose my car key, which is something I do quite often. I lose my car key quite often. This morning, I could not find it for the longest time, and it ended up being under my bed. So next time I should check there. Have a great weekend, everybody.